This young man named Jeon Seong-guk was the king of the Samjeon conglomerate, a global powerhouse. But life is not a dream. When he was at the peak of fame, he suddenly passed away. Fortunately, the heavens showed mercy and allowed him to be reborn as a child in a poor family. Determined to change his fate, he used the knowledge and skills from his past to rise from the bottom of society, vowing to rebuild his wealth and success. Let's not drag it out anymore. Let's get to the main content. 2020, somewhere in Seoul, in a luxurious high-rise building, on the TV breaking news was being broadcast. The man turned off the water while the TV continued to report on the shareholder meeting to decide the chairman of the Samjeon conglomerate, one of the 3 largest conglomerates in Korea, which had just ended after 13 tense hours. The reporter captured a photo of a man. After the dramatic meeting, the next chairman of Samjeon had been determined director, Jeon Seong-guk. He dried himself and left the bathroom. The reporter on TV continued to report, unlike other third-generation heirs, who had to leave their positions due to scandals or poor management. Director Jeon Seong-guk smiled as he heard people praising him. The laughter gradually turned into a hearty laugh. "Ha ha, that's right, praise me," he muttered arrogantly. "The king of Samjeon is me, Jeon Seong-guk." He remembered how hard he had worked to reach this moment, studying physical training, studying abroad, keeping his foolish siblings under control, cleaning up the mess caused by his uncle taking care of his wife in an arranged marriage. Everything he had done perfectly, not to mention meticulously building his image, appearing in newspapers on media channels. Jeon Seong-guk sneered perfectly. He raised his glass while stroking his hair, continuing to praise himself absolutely perfect. It was obvious that he would become the owner of Samjeon. He pressed his phone, his voice unable to hide his excitement growing louder. "Good, this is a new beginning with a new owner. All the old deadwood must be swept away." He grinned wickedly, planning, "First I will kick out all of Taeguk's lackeys." Suddenly he turned pale, his hands trembling, dropping both the glass and the phone. He let out a difficult sound, "Hoo." His face turned pale, his breathing rapid. He collapsed in disbelief, thinking to himself, "What is this? My heart can't breathe. I can't believe it. It's impossible." He thought of his grandfather, the founder of the Samjeon conglomerate, who had passed away from a heart attack. He trembled, reaching out his hand, refusing to accept his fate. "No, I can't be the next one. I won't fall because of a common heart attack." The world turned dark and was replaced by the sound of a baby crying. A gentle hand touched his cheek. "A baby, then my little darling." The Ongguk woke up in the form of a newborn baby held in the arms of his new parents. His mother spoke, "Who is mommy's most adorable treasure?" "So cute." Jeon Seong-guk thought to himself. I collapsed. "What the hell is going on?" he cried out loudly. In a shabby house somewhere, a voice rang out, "Oh my God, oh my God." Jeon Seong-guk lay still, his mouth holding a pacifier. Completely adorable, his parents' voices rang out. "Our Jeon Seong-guk is so cute." So-young blushed while commenting. "Honey, do you think our motorcycle taxi driver is handsome?" Jeon Ji-shong nodded in agreement with his wife. "Yes. Even cuter than those famous kids on the internet. Our Jeon Seong-guk is so lucky to be born handsome." Seong-guk smiled. He snapped himself out of it with feelings of anger, thinking to himself, "Lucky." He angrily threw the pacifier away, making his parents wonder, "Where do you feel uncomfortable, dear?" Seong-guk cried, confused. "What the hell is going on?" "My height of 23 sambarsar, weight of 75 kgs, lifting 500 kilos, my perfect body. Where is it? Why did I turn into this tiny, stunted body? A great family, a perfect body, a flawless background. I am Jeon Seong-guk, the king of Samjeon." He looked around, "And now I am," exclaiming at my own situation in this place. He cried, reincarnated as a child in a poor family, a young couple from an orphanage with nothing in their hands. The Ongguk thought about before reincarnating. I was about to raise my favorite glass of Chardonnay after a 1,000,001 bottle. Now, his mother spoke, "Darling, it's time to eat." Seong-guk angrily looked at the bottle of cheap formula milk, but his expression completely changed when she brought the bottle closer to him. Seong-guk swallowed his frustration and drank the milk. The first thing a newborn's body can't resist is being fed milk. So-young held him while coaxing the baby drank the milk so well. She kissed his cheek. "My son is so handsome." Seongguk felt uncomfortable thinking to himself how terrible he thought about himself. Collapsing on the most important day of his life, then reincarnating as a baby. Everything was very shocking, but the hardest thing to adapt to was these two people. Too close, full of cheesy words making him nauseous. They continued our baby, our son? Seongguk thought to himself the feeling of having parents. Household head Seongguk had never known. His biological parents. She didn't care about him. You know what you have to do? I have to go to work. His father didn't care about him either. The motorcycle taxi driver, take good care of your siblings as the eldest son. You should at least do that. He left harsh words. If you need anything, tell your brother Taeguk. He woke up, cried loudly again, thinking to himself, this is not the time to be sentimental. So-young worried. Seongguk. The motorcycle taxi driver continued. Aren't you sleepy after drinking milk? He angrily thought, how could I be sleepy? But the next second, Seongguk was sound asleep. The second thing a newborn's body can't resist is sleepiness. They commented the baby looks very tired. Seongguk thought to himself. Damn it, just wait until I wake up. So-young adjusted the blanket for him, not forgetting to praise him. Our son is so cute, Ji-seong replied. The baby is asleep, So-young. You should rest a bit too. Let me cook dinner. So-young objected. It's okay, honey. Let me help you cook dinner. He refused. No, you rest. So-young continued. But you're about to go to work. He turned on the TV to relax his mind. The news came that the chairman of Samjeon Jeonju Shin was involved in a bribery scandal. Next news. Bribery allegations were made against the chairman of the Samjeon conglomerate, Jeonju Shin. This afternoon, the prosecution has launched an investigation. He appeared amidst the cameras and lights, and the chairman of Samjeon Jeonju Shin had appeared. Seongguk opened his eyes wide. He sat up. So-young spoke, honey. Did you just see that news? Our Seongguk suddenly sat up. Seongguk was busy thinking, it's impossible. That's my grandfather, but he's already dead. The TV broadcast the news. Today's news, surely everyone has heard about the bribery case. With boxes of apples, the chairman of the Samjeon conglomerate Jeonju Shin has personally appeared before the public. Seongguk couldn't believe it, it's impossible. He looked at the man on the screen, his deceased grandfather. So-young was surprised when Seongguk approached the TV. He opened his eyes wide, remembering clearly. I definitely remember that moment. When I was 10 years old, he was arrested for bribing politicians with boxes of apples and had to stand trial. Those who feared the growth of Samjeon continuously criticized, calling it a dirty conglomerate that only knew how to bribe. How ridiculous. Seongguk thought to himself. Money as power connections are everything. Seongguk changed his gaze. Only naive people think that saving every penny will make them rich. The kind of thinking that only poor couples have. So-young was delighted. Seongguk is crawling. The motorcycle taxi driver held his wife's hand, agreeing, that's my son. Seongguk sighed anyway on the day he was summoned by the prosecution. He had me, who was only 10 years old at the time, push his wheelchair in front of the public. A setup to gain public sympathy, but to me it felt like a debut. He remembered his grandfather and father, a declaration to the world that Seongguk is the next successor. But now the one who appeared is Taeguk. Seongguk cursed. Damn it, he thought to himself, that greedy younger brother. He cursed Taeguk, who used studying abroad as an excuse. But all he learned was how to do drugs. That arrogant bastard always coveted my position, never did any work. He touched the TV screen, calculating that returning to being a child is not the problem. The problem is that I have returned to the past. He looked up at the sky and cried loudly, thinking to himself, my destiny, my position, everything is about to be taken away. One night, a few days later, So-young spoke. Seongguk. She coaxed, Mommy brought you some delicious apple juice. Seongguk pushed her hand away. He stared intently at the TV, thinking to himself, don't bother me. So-young worried Seongguk. So-young worried Ji-seong. The motorcycle taxi driver opened the door and said, hello, honey, I'm back. He smiled happily. Showing off to his wife today, the boss gave me a lot of leftover meat. This man works as a chef in a nearby pork restaurant. He continued, let me cook something delicious for you two. So-young held his hand. Honey, he stopped. Huh? What's wrong? She pointed at Seongguk. He was surprised to say the baby is still watching TV, only watching the news. So young, does the baby cry or get upset when I turn off the TV or change the channel? Ji-seong replied, "Leave it to me." Ji-seong stood in front of the TV screen, starting to coax. "Come on, Seongguk. Daddy's back. Don't watch TV anymore. Play with Daddy." Seongguk grabbed his finger. Ji-seong was confused, huh? Seongguk frowned, clearly requesting to turn the TV back on. Ji-seong was surprised, unable to say anything. The couple stepped back. Ji-seong was dejected. "I lost to my son, So-young." Coaxed honey, Ji-seong was still intently watching the TV. "I don't have time to waste on such trivial things." He strained his eyes to observe. "Now I need to gather as much useful information as possible. Information about the current situation. Information about my grandfather and Samjeon. Information on how to return to my original body." So-young pressed the button to turn off the TV, cutting it short. "That's enough." She picked him up as he started to whimper. "You haven't eaten anything all day. You need to rest." Seongguk started crying. So-young didn't know what to say. "Seongguk," he cried loudly, thinking to himself, "Let go! Let go!" I had to fight tooth and nail to protect my position as the heir of Samjeon, and now it's all been taken away by someone like Jeon Taeguk. Seongguk teared up. "I have to return to my position." So-young hugged him, coaxing, "My good boy Seongguk, rest now." Seongguk cried, but gradually fell asleep. So-young's voice in his ear tomorrow. "Try again." "Okay." Seongguk thought to himself, "Is it because I've become a child that my emotions have also become weaker, changing unpredictably and unable to think for long? And when this woman gently patted my back, I somehow fell asleep without realizing it." Seongguk quickly fell asleep. Ji-seong approached worriedly. "He's asleep already. He's been like this all day. He must be very tired today." So-young replied, "I'm so worried about Seongguk." Ji-seong asked, "Huh?" She continued, "He's almost 1 year old, but still hasn't called me mom or dad. He just keeps watching TV all day." Ji-seong was a bit unhappy hearing her say, "I'm so worried because I'm a mother. But I don't know anything. Am I raising him wrong?" Ji-seong called her name So-young. He hugged her, "Even though we don't have much. Our love for him is sincere, right? Don't worry. Our son will grow up well. Trust in Seongguk." A few days later, Seongguk withered, thinking to himself, "I'm doomed." He sighed in frustration. "Over the past few days, even though I had to fight to watch the news, stay up late, secretly following it, or bite my hand, demanding to watch the news, I still haven't gotten any useful information. The world continues to operate as if nothing happened, while I'm still stuck in this child's body." He sighed. "Life is so meaningless." So-young spoke. "Oh my God. Seongguk." She smiled. "Today, you're not watching TV anymore." Seongguk resignedly decided to give up. She picked him up. "Then let's go for a walk with Mom. Come on." She continued humming. "Let's go to the market to buy some food. Then on the way back, we'll admire the flowers." So-young excitedly looked at the sky. "The weather is so nice today." A voice rang out. "Room 107. So-young looked over and replied, "Are you going to work, landlady?" Mi-young replied, "I have some work this morning. You're leaving a bit late today." She didn't show any particular emotion and continued saying that. She left. So-young bowed and called out, "Have a good day, landlady." Seongguk thought to himself, "The landlady is such a young girl." So-young continued, "Come on, Seongguk, let's go." They walked to a place next to a construction site. So-young smiled. Seongguk was still not satisfied. She spoke. "We're here." Then So-young continued, "The bean sprouts at the market in front are 101 cheaper. Let's buy them quickly and go home. I'll make delicious bean sprout soup for you and—" Seongguk was annoyed. "What's the point anyway? I'm still just drinking formula milk." A jarring sound rang out. Seongguk looked up. A steel bar was falling. Seongguk turned pale. What the hell? The steel bar fell where So-young was. She panicked. The steel bars fell in the surprise of both So-young and Seongguk. She quickly turned and hugged him, crying out, "No, Seongguk!" Dust flew everywhere. The sound of grinding teeth rang out. Room 107. Room 107. She panicked and called out to the person lying under the pile of steel. So-young. So-young, her head covered in blood, vaguely replied, "Landlady Seongguk." She muttered a few words before losing consciousness. I will protect you. Seongguk stammered, "Ooh, mom. He panicked, thinking to himself, don't die, mom. Mi-young quickly called for help, and So-young was immediately taken to the emergency room. The rescue worker informed the doctor about the situation. The patient has a head injury from construction materials falling from the site, the doctor noted while replying. Prepare for immediate suturing. Any other injuries? She read the records, into the room. Sometime later, So-young vaguely woke up. Ji-seong was surprised. He softly called, "Honey, So-young." He supported her, continuing, "You're awake. Can you hear me?" "Slowly sit up," So-young replied Ji-seong. She worried. "Where is Seongguk? He's with me." Jeon Ji-seong was flustered. "Ah," he pointed at Seongguk. "Seongguk is here right next to you." Jeon Ji-seong picked him up, continuing, "Thanks to you shielding him, he wasn't injured at all. But he seems very shocked seeing you hurt," So-young cried out. So-young cried. When Ji-seong handed Seongguk to So-young, she immediately coaxed, "My son. You were so scared, weren't you?" "It's okay, Mom, isn't hurt at all." She hugged him, continuing to speak softly. "I just need you to be safe. My Seongguk." Seongguk looked at her with big, teary eyes. Then 2 streams of tears flowed like a river. So-young hugged him. Seongguk thought to himself, "I was so scared." He hugged her while scolding Mom. "Don't you value your life? What if you really died?" Ji-seong smiled. He's crying so hard. So-young only now noticed her surroundings and spoke. "But honey, is this a private hospital room? Why rent such an expensive room?" She continued. "My condition, isn't that serious?" Ji-seong blushed and explained, "Well," he instructed the doctor. "Said you need absolute rest." So-young was confused. "Absolute rest," Ji-seong continued vaguely. "You know that sensitive period when pregnant women need absolute rest." So-young blushed, unable to believe it. Ji-seong continued anyway. "Stay here and rest comfortably for a week." He hugged her tenderly. "Your only job now is to rest and recover." Ji-seong smiled, honey. The hospital room door opened. The nurse spoke, "Sorry." The young couple was embarrassed when she announced, "Visiting hours are almost over." Ji-seong quickly kept his distance from his wife. "Then I'll leave now." He hugged Seongguk, whose eyes and nose were both red, and spoke. "Seongguk, did you hear? Just rest comfortably. I'll come back tomorrow. Take care, honey." "Please take care of So-young, doctor." He carried the child in front of his chest, smiling. "Let's go home, my son." Ji-seong calculated going home, but the bus fare. Finally, he decided, "It's not too far. Let's walk." Seongguk was amazed. They don't even have a few coins for the bus. He thought to himself, then sobbed, "Is this family so poor?" But a father who always works hard to provide for the family. A mother who is willing to sacrifice her life for me. He spoke, "Dad." Ji-seong was amazed and exclaimed, "Seongguk, did you just call me Dad?" Seongguk continued. "Dad." "Dad," he affirmed. "Now they are my family, my parents." A week later, the table was filled with all kinds of fruits and cakes. A card announcing a party to celebrate So-young's safe discharge from the hospital. Seongguk in an extremely cute traditional outfit. The young couple also wore traditional outfits, continuously praising and taking photos. "Our Seongguk is so adorable." So-young excitedly, "Honey, our son is so handsome, right?" Ji-seong took photos while replying, equally excited. "Of course, he looks even better than those child models on TV." Seongguk didn't show any emotion, letting them shower him with love. "How can I be as cute as a gem?" He sighed, then angrily scolded to himself, "Is this the time to throw a party?" He thought it was so hard to pay the hospital bill that we even had to save on bus fare when every penny is important. Why waste it on things like a celebration or a first birthday? If it were me, in my past life, I would have definitely shouted like that. He opened his eyes wide and looked at his parents. "But now I understand there are things that can't be measured by money, feelings that can even be exchanged with one's life." He looked at them and listened to their words. "Our son is the best. Seongguk, come here." Seongguk smiled and reached out when So-young suggested, "Mom will hug you, okay?" He continued to ponder throughout the week. "Mom was in the hospital. I thought a lot. I need to take action. To be honest, my parents will have a hard time escaping this poverty. They know nothing about financial management. Don't talk about savings. Even living expenses are a struggle for them, and there's a big economic crisis coming." If the future I know really happens. He was pondering what to do when there was a knock on the door. So-young approached while speaking. Who is it? The person outside replied, It's me, the landlady. Kim Mi-young. So-young opened the door and Mi-young immediately spoke. I heard you just got discharged, so I came to check on you. She pulled out a flyer for a child actor audition. Mi-young explained about their child. Is Seong-guk interested in trying out as a child actor? At the studio, a banner covered almost one side of the building with the content, Audition for child actors, searching for the next generation of child stars. Location studio building, 11th floor. So-young was overwhelmed. So this is the audition location. Seong-guk was a bit disdainful. He was busy calculating about money. It looks decent. They must have spent a lot of money here. So-young suddenly felt pressured. She muttered. But what if we come here for nothing? Seong-guk quickly scolded. What are you saying, Mom? She stepped in. Let's go in while Seong-guk scolded. This is a golden opportunity for me. A few days ago, Ji-seong and So-young were surprised by Mi-young's suggestion. A child actor. Mi-young began to explain the company I work for. Just received a contract to shoot a commercial for a big conglomerate. They're holding auditions for an important child actor role. Mi-young observed Seong-guk, then commented, Your child looks bright and seems talented. That's why So-young is waiting for the elevator right now. Seong-guk chuckled, heh. He couldn't stop praising himself. Someone destined to be a star? Will become a star. This is the opportunity, the way to make money. Since I was young, I've lived under the spotlight and cameras. Makeup camera angles. These things are too basic. My left side looks better on camera. The #1 young master looks like a street actor, Seong-guk. That's why I'm called the young master who can become an actor. Then So-young looked confused at Seong-guk's unusual expression. She had no idea about the calculations in his head right now. I will crush this audition and take all the prize money. Seong-guk smiled slyly. Then use that money to invest further. Just as the elevator door opened, someone shouted loudly, What are you still standing there for? Aren't you coming in? So-young replied to this person who just shouted at her. You go in first, ma'am. That woman didn't stand on ceremony and walked in, followed by a nanny carrying a child. Inside the elevator, the woman kept rambling. I'm so busy I could die. Don't block my way. Seong-guk observed her, thinking to himself, that person. He got so angry his face turned red. The child, being carried by the nanny, reached out to try to befriend Seong-guk. The nanny smiled. Your child is so cute, the nanny replied. This is our young master Jae-hee, but his mother cut her off. Don't talk to me, ma'am. She looked at So-young with annoyance, then continued pointing at her. It seems you're also here to audition, trying to scout the competition. So-young quickly explained. No, that's not it. The other woman looked down on her. Hump struggle, all you want. My Jae-hee will win anyway. Seong-guk growled angrily. What did you just say? She was surprised when she saw Seong-guk's anger. Why does this child have such sharp eyes? Seong-guk scolded her. What kind of rude attitude is this? He commented from head to toe. All branded, even has a nanny following her like a servant. Typical rich lady. The elevator quickly reached the 11th floor. Seong-guk had clear hostility towards her and her child. Let's see who wins. I'll crush you all. In the studio, someone's voice rang out. Contestant number 8, take a few more shots. The assistant director spoke to the child on stage. Little one, look at the camera. Good job? So-young was a bit worried. This doesn't look easy, Seong-guk thought to himself. Not at all. The other side continued. Next contestant. Number 9. He frowned. This is just a simple camera test. They're seeing if the face looks good on camera and if they can perform basic acting. The lights are hot. The unfamiliar space is hard for children to endure. Seong-guk focused when they announced number 10, Lee Jae-hee. The assistant director greeted Jae-hee's mother. Oh, aren't you the wife of the chairman of Diopank Paper Company? She mumbled. Yes. Seong-guk was surprised. He immediately remembered Diopank Paper Company. She's the wife of that company's chairman. He sneered. Haha, just a medium-sized company, to be honest. It's a subcontractor of a subcontractor of a subcontractor. For Sammy, Jae-hee's mother stiffened when she felt Seong-guk's gaze. Let's see what's so special about their child. The assistant director called the boy Jae-hee. The boy was sweating nervously. The assistant continued. Smile, give us a big smile. Jae-hee's mother trembled, urging him. Jae-hee, smile. Jae-hee cried out loudly. The assistant director scratched his head and announced, If this continues, we can't proceed with the audition. Jae-hee's mother was annoyed. What are you saying, he'll stop crying soon? The assistant refused. But there are many other children waiting, she protested. Why the rush? Just wait a bit. The director directly announced next number 12, Jeon Seong-guk. The assistant director looked over. Oh, she spoke director, but he cut her off. Assistant, please take the lady and her child outside to calm him down. Jae-hee's mother gritted her teeth as he continued. The audition will proceed. He asked again, Is child actor Jeon Seong-guk here? So-young immediately replied, Yes, I'm here. She put him down. The assistant spoke, Seong-guk. Let's start the audition. So-young smiled, Seong-guk. Jae-hee's mother scoffed, So-young, move aside so I can see. Seong-guk sneered. Yeah, open your eyes wide and watch. She glared at him. Seong-guk thought to himself, The reason why I will succeed, and your child won't. I'll show you right now. He thought, then smiled. Both the director and So-young blushed at this cuteness. He hurriedly grabbed his camera. Quick, get my camera, he instructed Seong-guk. Look over here. Let's take some profile photos. Do some cute poses. Hold the prop. Good job. Seong-guk followed his instructions. The director smiled in satisfaction. Excellent. Jae-hee's mother's face turned pale as he declared, This child is a genius. The director excitedly exclaimed, This child is a genius. Quickly sign the contract. So-young was surprised, thinking to herself, Is our Seong-guk a genius? He quickly approached Seong-guk's mother, then began introducing himself with an unexpectedly cheerful face. Hello, I'm the director of the KVK-AK commercial. Junha, he shook So-young's hand, then casually said, Your son is truly outstanding. We'll sign the contract right away. Do you have any conditions to negotiate? So-young asked suspiciously director. Is Seong-guk really talented? This is the first time I've encountered something like this. Junha smiled and scratched his head. I got a bit too excited and rushed. Of course he's overflowing with talent. He continued, Not only is he natural in front of the camera, but he also responds to my direction. It's like he understands everything I say. Seong-guk thought smugly, That's because I really do understand. He excitedly said, I'm really looking forward to working with Seong-guk so. But before he could finish, he was interrupted by a loud noise. Jae-hee's mother knocked over the camera and angrily shouted, What do you think you're doing? She insisted the audition isn't over yet. How can you decide the winner before it's even finished? She shouted loudly. Besides my Jae-hee, I won't accept anyone else as the winner. This led to the following announcement, searching for the next generation of child actors. The finalists are child actor Jeon Seong-guk and child actor Lee Jae-hee. They informed the families and the two boys will wait here. Jae-hee's mother had a hostile attitude towards So-young and Seong-guk. She scoffed coldly, but So-young didn't pay much attention. She lovingly looked at her son. I never thought our Seong-guk would make it to the finals. There are so many beautiful and smart children. She spoke, but our son still stands out the most. Seong-guk smiled smugly. Of course, So-young continued, but perhaps because I suddenly felt relieved. Jae-hee's nanny noticed So-young's discomfort and kindly asked, What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? The restroom, she suggested. Oh my, give the baby to me. You go quickly. So-young was a bit flustered. Is that okay? She handed Seong-guk to her and hurriedly left. Not forgetting to say, I'll be right back. The nanny held both children. Come here. She smiled. Oh my. The more I look at this child, the more impressive he is. A voice rang out. Hey, Jae-hee's mother was furious and warned her. Are you joking with me? The nanny panicked. She continued scolding. I'm so angry because our Jae-hee is being compared to that child. Are you really that stupid? Or just pretending? She almost shouted. Do you want to get fired? Her words made Seong-guk uncomfortable. If you think that child is so cute, why don't you adopt him yourself? The nanny stammered. No, ma'am. I was wrong. Seong-guk smiled, but in his heart he kept scolding that woman. Look at her attitude. He gritted his teeth. His face twisted. his hand clenched into a fist, just wanting to slap her to vent. The assistant director appeared and spoke sorry. Jaehee's mother continued the conversation. "I was just about to call you," she asked the guardian of Jeon Seong-guk. Jaehee's mother replied, "She just stepped out for a moment. You can speak freely." Seong-guk quickly paid attention to these two people. What's going on? What's... Jaehee's mother began to vent. "Is this fair? I just want to create memories for my Jaehee. Why does he have to compete with that kid?" she continued. Wasn't he already chosen as the winner? Seong-guk was surprised when he heard this. "Yes," the assistant director quickly explained. "Yes, ma'am." "But Seong-guk..." So that's how it is. A blatant scam. The commercial model was chosen before the audition. It's just a formality, all to create a glamorous debut for their child, using other children as stepping stones, and then abandoning them. A prearranged scam. The assistant director continued trying to calm her down. "Ma'am, please calm down. If the director finds out, it will be troublesome." She didn't listen. The director knows our family well. This was decided by the higher-ups. What can a small director do? The assistant director was a bit hesitant when mentioning him. He has won many international awards, but the higher-ups are still the higher-ups. Anyway, this must not be leaked. The assistant director continued asking, "Are you prepared for the final round?" Jaehee's mother crossed her arms. "Of course, I even hired a private tutor to train him." She smiled. "Then that's good. That child will definitely lose to Jaehee, who has been thoroughly trained." She approached Jaehee. "Come on, Jaehee. Let's practice a bit." Seong-guk observed them. The assistant director came close to the boy and began instructing, "Repeat after me." Jeon Seong-guk listened, his mouth forming a sneering smile. I see." The waiting time quickly ended. The announcement rang out. "Let's begin the final round of the audition." They read the requirements. The child who can naturally follow the instructions and perform the best will be the winner. So-young cheered from below. "You can do it." Seong-guk looked at her and signaled with his hand. "Mom, don't worry." The director instructed, "Start filming." The assistant director began directing the children. "Look over here." Seong-guk calculated how the children's responses to the direction would also be scored. He started moving. At times like this, you have to position the camera angle precisely, lift your head and face the camera and the director directly. On the other hand, Jaehee's mother exclaimed in worry as the boy crawled towards her. "Oh, Jaehee, not this way. You have to go towards the camera over there." The assistant director was flustered. Jaehee. On the other hand, the director focused on Seong-guk. "Let's temporarily set that child aside and try Seong-guk first." He instructed the assistant to read the lines. She was startled. Yes, the assistant director approached Seong-guk, still confident that unlike Jaehee, who had memorized the lines beforehand, this child knew nothing. She was certain he would definitely fail while instructing him. "Seong-guk, can you repeat after me?" Seong-guk put on a cute face and spoke, "Ah!" The assistant director was overshadowed by the aura he exuded. Seong-guk continued, "Ah." The director smiled brightly, just as expected from Seong-guk. "My eye for people is never wrong." Jaehee's mother interrupted. "Wait." She picked up her child and suggested our Jaehee too. "Please look at Jaehee." The director sighed. "If you're carrying the child like that, then fine." He repeated the request. "Jaehee, can you say, 'Daddy'?" Jaehee started to whimper. "Ah!" He cried out loudly. Jaehee's mother turned pale, unable to believe it. She spoke impossible, she muttered. "All that practice, and it turned out like this." The director asked again. "Practice." The assistant director interrupted to rescue the woman, ending the audition. She continued. "Thank you everyone for your hard work." Seong-guk was smug. "I've definitely secured this role." He smiled arrogantly. "Victory is mine." However, the truth is always harsh, and So-young was shocked when she saw it. The announcement was made, searching for the next generation of child actors. The winner of the final round is child actor Lee Jaehee. So-young was surprised, huh? Searching for the next generation of child actors. The winner of the final round is child actor Lee Jaehee. The announcement made the two of them turn pale. She stood there unable to believe her eyes. This can't be right. So Young shouted in protest. Wait, clearly, Seong-guk did very well. The assistant director waved her hand. Well, just because he did some cute things doesn't mean he can become a child actor. The cold footsteps, accompanied by the scornful voice of Jae-hee's mother, rang out. Do you really think a nobody like your child can win just by being cute? Jae-hee's mother looked down on her. You really don't know your place. Why So-young quickly covered the head of the motorcycle taxi driver. Jae-hee's mother sighed for someone of a lower class. Even getting here is already lucky. Ah, she glanced provocatively. Have you had enough fun? Then coldly turned her back and left. Let's go. So-young trembled as if about to cry. How could that woman say such cruel things? Right in front of Seong-guk. She looked down at her son. Puzzled. Seong-guk. Seong-guk grabbed his mother's clothes, comforting her. In his heart. Calm down. Seong-guk was smug. Everything is going according to my plan. And as calculated, it won't be long now. Just as he mentioned it, the hurried footsteps of someone echoed. Wait a moment, Seong-guk's mother. Jun-hae hurriedly shouted, Can we talk for a moment? Wasn't Jae-hee already decided as the winner? The moment I heard that, I immediately adjusted my strategy. I've seen too many of these cheating games in my past life. You can't win against those who buy their positions with money. And there's no need to participate in a battle I can't win as a businessman. I must look further ahead specifically. Relationships, Jae-hee panted and quickly explained Seong-guk's mother. Let's talk for a moment. So-young was a bit confused. Director Jun-hae smiled. You must be very shocked, those despicable people. Jun-hae bowed and apologized. I'm truly sorry. It seems this audition was influenced by those with power. He patted Seong-guk's head to comfort him. Seong-guk, I'm sorry you had to witness such an ugly incident. Seong-guk's eyes sparkled. It's time, so what do you want to say? Jun-hae suggested to Seong-guk's mother. Can you come to the commercial shoot? Seong-guk was overjoyed inside. This is it? This is what I want, what I'm aiming for. Not just a single commercial contract, winning the director's favor, having good connections continuously, getting child actor roles, becoming a wealthy child star. Most importantly, ensuring a stable and long-term income. Do whatever you want with this commercial. I just need to secure this director and make a lot of money. Seong-guk stuck out his tongue, happily thinking, with that money, I'll support my family. So-young agreed. Director, I'll come to the commercial shoot. Jun-hae raised a finger to explain. Usually, we prepare 1 or 2 backup models for the children because they can get sick at any time. To be honest, I'm also a bit worried about this winner. Seong-guk also nodded in agreement. That's right. Jun-hae grabbed So-young's hand and begged, please, Seong-guk's mother, help me this time. So-young was a bit flustered. I just hope it's not too much for Seong-guk. Seong-guk was confused me. In his heart, Seong-guk was already celebrating. I completely agree, Mom. You agree too. Jun-hae laughed heartily. This child really seems to understand everything we say. If all child actors were like Seong-guk, my job would be much easier. Jun-hae carefully handed out his business card. By the way, Seong-guk's mother. Can I get your contact information? This is my business card, our contact information for other projects with Seong-guk. At the commercial shoot location near Seoul, So-young and Seong-guk were standing dumbfounded. Wow. So-young was amazed. I never expected there to be such a lush green place like this. The assistant director waved from afar. Seong-guk's mother. So-young looked at her dumbfounded. You're the assistant director? Tiredly greeting hello. Seong-guk's face darkened with gloom and coldness. That corrupt director. The assistant director chuckled. Ha, this child is staring at me so fiercely. The assistant director sweated and led the way. I'll take everyone to the waiting room. You're here as a backup model, right? So-young followed the assistant director intently. The assistant director invited this way. Suddenly, Seong-guk's gaze stopped. Wait, isn't that the 3rd-generation washing machine from Samjeon? We take care of your laundry, Samjeon washing machine. This product once created a sensation with its improved vortex washing system. Thanks to it, Samjeon Electronics' stock soared, and he was so happy. So could this commercial be? Seong-guk's train of thought was interrupted by Jae-hee's mother's piercing scream. Wait, why are these people here? The assistant director quickly put out the fire. Ma'am, Jae-hee's mother angrily looked at So-young. Why are those losers here? So Young also didn't back down. The director invited me to be the backup model. What are you saying so unluckily in front of my child? Seongguk was satisfied. Mom, you're amazing. Jihee's mother looked uncomfortable at the assistant director backup model. The assistant director quickly replied, yes, in case Jihee is unwell or needs a replacement. Jihee's mother crossed her arms arrogantly. Our Jihee doesn't need such useless things. This commercial shoot isn't that hard, and Jihee is in the best condition. The nanny looked at Jihee's pale and listless face. It doesn't seem like that. She pointed and waved. You'd better leave what's going on. A beautiful girl with light silver brown hair gently asked, why is it so noisy? The assistant director flustered. Miss Seon-mi leisurely walked over. Are these the children I'll be filming with today? So Young and the nanny were mesmerized by Seon-mi's beauty. Yes, this is Seongguk, the backup model, and this is Jae-hee, the winner of the audition. Seon-mi warmly shook hands with Jae-hee. Hello today, you'll be filming with me? Let's see. Jae-hee pouted and turned away. Seon-mi was slightly annoyed and frowned when she saw Jae-hee's expression. She sulked and turned away. The child doesn't seem very interested in me. Does this child want to greet me? Seongguk smiled happily. A new relationship is coming to me, greeting the female lead. Of course. Then Seon-mi happily patted Seongguk's head. Oh my. Seon-mi was delighted. I've never seen such a friendly child. So Young was also happy. My Seongguk is very affectionate. Seon-mi happily concluded. Assistant director, I think this child is cuter. Can I film with him? Jaehee's mother immediately turned pale. What? She angrily grabbed Seon-mi's hand and pulled her, making her cry out, ah! What are you talking about? Seon-mi was annoyed. What is this? Let go! The two Seongguk, mother and son, nervously watched the drama explode. Don't say such unlucky things. Why did you suddenly jump out? Sorry, who are you? And why are you saying that? She was about to shout, but was suddenly stopped by someone's arm. Hey! The man's glasses gleamed mysteriously. What's going on? Why is it so noisy? Jaehee's mother asked in surprise. Who is this? Seon-mi saw this and hummed Vice President. Seon-mi gracefully walked over and stood close to Jae-hyung. Why are you here? Jae-hyung smiled coldly. How could I not come when the commercial for our new product is being filmed? It's a pleasure to meet you. The atmosphere around Seongguk suddenly froze, as if dead. Impossible, father. The polite man with glasses introduced himself. I am Jeon Jae-hyung, Vice President of Samjeon. Vice President of Samjeon Jeon Jae-hyung. What kind of person is he? Though not as great as his grandfather chairman Jeonju Shin, he is also a capable vice president. He once led the company's restructuring and improved the organization during times of crisis. Don't call him a visionary leader because of his generous investments in specialized fields. The future is the service industry. The leader of the future. Jeon Jae-hyung of Samjeon, Vice President of Samjeon, talented and successful. But as a man, a husband, a father, he is utterly terrible. Seongguk stuck out his tongue in disgust. Looking at that face, memories suddenly flooded back. He always had countless mistresses, but around the time I was 10, he personally introduced a woman to me. Oh, you're Seongguk. So cute, nice to meet you. I immediately erased that woman from my mind the moment I saw her. That was Seon-mi. Seon-mi pointed as if pleading. These are the children who will film this commercial. I like that child. Jae-hyung stepped closer. He seemed smart. He smiled warmly and greeted the child. Jae-hyung's towering figure made Seongguk startle, thinking to himself, Father. Jae-hyung's figure blocked the sunlight. Seongguk remained frozen. Thinking, father. Suddenly the manager spoke. Excuse me, Vice President. It's time for you to go inside. Jae-hyung nodded. Is that so? What a pity. He spoke in a threatening tone. I'll leave the filming to you then. Jaehee's mother fidgeted, biting her lip. She bowed respectfully. Then I will work very hard. Seongguk sweated. She's the wife of the chairman of Deopank Paper. She can't openly oppose the vice president of Samjeon. And Jeon Jae-hyung, that's the kind of person he is. Sometimes a playboy, sometimes exuding the authority of a conglomerate leader. He is my father. Hyung patted Seongguk's head to encourage him. I'm counting on you for this shoot. After speaking, he happily closed his eyes and left the set. Hyung's back walked away confidently like a true man. The nanny felt a bit nostalgic. Yes, father, but in this life I will live a different life, he firmly thought. Now I have a real family. I will protect these people. And one day I will build a conglomerate even stronger than Samjeon. Seong-guk closed his eyes, determined we will meet again. The assistant hurriedly shouted, "All right, everyone, let's start filming. The director will be here soon. Everyone, please get ready." The assistant carefully instructed Jae-hee's mother, "You can rest over there." The assistant ordered the child. "Models, please get into position." Seong-guk unconsciously smirked. The past is the past. Seong-guk's eyes lit up, looking at Jae-hee as if wanting to devour him. Now, I need to focus on what's important. The commercial content is very simple. In a villa in the middle of a green forest, a mother does laundry with her child. The father's white shirt is stained with sweat. It gets cleaned in the Samjeon spin wash. Thanks to the advanced technology, the shirt becomes dazzlingly white. The child happily presses their cheek against the shirt and calls out, "Dad." The laundry is done. The commercial ends with the image of the mother and child radiantly standing next to the sparkling washing machine. In my past life, this commercial created a huge sensation. It won Commercial of the Year and turned the child actor who participated into an overnight star Child Actor of the Year. So that means Seong-guk smirked devilishly, unable to keep his mouth shut. Seon-mi was annoyed when Jae-hee burst into tears. Seong-guk chuckled to himself. "I should be the one starring in this commercial." Seon-mi asked in discomfort, "What's wrong with this child?" "Why does he hit anyone who comes near him?" Jae-hee cried even louder. "Wah, wah." So-young was also panicked suddenly. He's reacting like this. He was always so well-behaved before. Seong-guk's face darkened with evil. Why? Everything is going according to my genius plan. I told that poor kid under his mother's control a little trick. If he resists as much as possible every time Seon-mi comes near him, he can go home early. Though I'm not sure it seems, because we're children. We could somehow understand each other. We can't film. Jun-hae frowned and ordered, "Use the backup child model." Jae-hee's mother stopped him. "What?" She rambled, "This child is the winner." Jun-hae angrily replied, "We've wasted hours and still haven't filmed anything. The boy refuses to cooperate, keeps hitting the lead actress. What are we supposed to do?" Jun-hae shouted, "Don't you know, today is the last day of filming. Jae-hee's mother didn't back down. Don't talk nonsense." "Do you know who my family is?" She gritted her teeth and pulled out her phone. The boy's grandfather, chairman of Jin Opank, dotes on him. Seong-guk looked at the phone with interest. "An old model phone I haven't seen in a long time." She growled threateningly, "I'll call right now and replace this entire crew." Jae-hee's mother gritted her teeth, panting. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Sony slapped her hard, making her dizzy with pain. Everyone was stunned, mouths agape at this scene. Jae-hee's mother touched her swollen cheek. "What the hell?" She was furious, looking at Seon-mi. "What do you think you're doing?" Seon-mi smiled deadly sweetly. "I really hate non-actors causing chaos on set. I understand you live for the status of being the wife of the chairman of Diopank Paper, but it's best if you take your child and leave now." She quickly turned to look at director Jun-hae. "Director, let's start over." Then Seon-mi straightforwardly pointed at the child in front of me. "I want to film with that child." Seon-mi smiled brightly, pointing at Seong-guk, director. "Let's start over. I want to film with that child." The atmosphere suddenly became eerily silent. Jun-hae coldly ordered everyone to their positions. Jae-hee's mother's face changed. What? She blushed and shouted, "Why is that kid filming instead of our Jae-hee? A lowly child like that. What can he do?" "This is nonsense." So-young quickly covered the motorcycle taxi driver's ears. "Don't listen to them. Seong-guk." The camera, the red light. That's what followed me until my death in my past life. Countless cameras and questions rushed towards him. "Look over here. Please say something to the shareholders." In response to them was Seong-guk's fake smile. Seong-guk's confident acting in front of the camera is one of my weapons, so I know exactly what to do in front of this. Jun-hae adjusted the camera while the assistant muttered the script. "Thanks to the Samjeon spin wash, Dad's dirty shirt is now sparkling white." Seon-mi radiantly held up the white shirt. "How is it, my dear, clean and fragrant? Right?" The motorcycle taxi driver's small hands held the shirt. Seong-guk smiled brightly and hugged the shirt up. Jun-hae and the assistant both praised, "So cute." Junhei excitedly kept the main camera angle focused on Seongguk. The assistant quickly replied, "Understood." The image of Seon-mi smiling and taking the shirt out of Seongguk's mouth, the image of the motorcycle taxi driver happily hugging Dad's shirt, were all excellently captured by the camera in every short moment. Junhei tried to hold back his laughter, but secretly rejoiced in his heart. The boy's eyes were completely focused on the camera, focused on me. What's with this kid? Seon-mi was also slightly surprised in her head. It's really Seongguk. How can he act like that? Suddenly, a soft voice startled her actress. Seon-mi, the assistant, held up a sign for the hugging scene. I shouted a closing line for the commercial. She shyly covered her mouth. Oh my. Our little one also loves clean clothes. The mother and child raised their hands excitedly. The Samjeon Spin Wash Reliable meet it today. Seon-mi and Jeon Seongguk smiled happily together. Junhei clenched his fists, rejoicing in his heart. Perfect cut. He ordered the film crew cut. After some time, the evening sun set. How absurd. Jaehee's mother grumbled loudly. Just because he acted a little cute. Are they really planning to choose him as the commercial model instead of our Jaehee? Junhei still sternly crossed his arms. But Jaehee can't act, Jaehee's mother stubbornly said. The Seongguk mother and son were also exhausted from being here too long. Phew, so tired. Seon-mi rubbed her elbow against the bucket. Don't worry about that. So-young was surprised. Actress Seon-mi, firmly reassured, no matter how much that woman yells, it won't change anything. What's the point of making a fuss if the child can't act? So-young laughed it off. Ha. Then Seon-mi gently leaned down to look at Seongguk. No matter what, our Seongguk is still the best. I didn't think we could finish the scene in just 2 takes. Don't make me laugh. Jaehee's mother still stood there threatening. You're just an actress who knows nothing. Do you know how much money I spent on this pitiful commercial? She angrily pointed at the assistant. And you speak up. You also received a lot, right? Junhei's face darkened, gritting his teeth. Assistant director. Are you taking money? Junhei's eyes glowed fiercely, grabbing the assistant's head. We'll talk privately later. Jaehee's mother gloomily said, I don't need this anymore. Who would want to be involved in this trashy commercial? Jaehee's mother angrily left with the nanny. I'll sue all of you. Just wait and see. Seongguk looked at their departing figures with disdain. Junhei immediately bowed and apologized. I'm sorry. Seongguk's mother, you must be very shocked. So-young also didn't know what to say. Director? She awkwardly laughed. No, you did very well. Junhei scratched his head. Embarrassed, haha, more than that. Today, I'm truly grateful to you. I don't know what would have happened without Seongguk. Seongguk smugly thought, thank you. We probably won't need to do additional filming, so you can go home now. The filming costs will be handled by the company and sent to you in full. Seongguk happily hummed upon hearing this. So-young nodded. Then let's go home. Seongguk also burst out laughing in agreement. In his heart, Seongguk was exhausted. I'm tired. Let's go home and rest. Seon-mi seemed to have something on her mind, but silently observed the situation. She smiled brightly. Seongguk's mother, would you like me to drive you 2 home in my car? The weak sunlight shone on the cars rolling by. Seongguk was drowsy, drooling in his sleep. Seon-mi playfully said, the kid is sleeping so soundly. So-young was flustered. He must be very tired. So-young sincerely thanked her. And by the way, thank you for letting me ride in such a fancy car. Thank you, Seon-mi gently replied. Oh no, it's nothing actually. I'm the one who should thank Seongguk. Seon-mi suddenly asked, thanks Seongguk. Seon-mi warmly recounted today. Seongguk was truly an outstanding lead actor. Thanks to him, I got off work early. That child. His eyes always followed the camera's light. He understands how the camera works, and he acted in sync with my rhythm. It might be a coincidence, but he even found my best angle right. Seongguk was annoyed, blushing Seon-mi. Your right side looks better on camera than your left. He understood the rhythm of the scene and delivered the best performance, completely dominating the frame. In my eyes, Seongguk is already a complete actor. Seon-mi's words slightly startled So-young. She couldn't believe her ears and muttered to herself, our Seongguk is really. Seon-mi kindly suggested. So Seongguk's mother, I have a proposal. At this moment, Seongguk also drowsily opened his eyes and woke up. Seonmi extended her hand and made the proposal. That proposal left both Seongguk and his mother stunned. Seongguk's eyes were unusually sharp. He smirked. Are you joking? Under Seongguk's dilapidated house, Myung happily placed the money on the table. 4,000 won. The blue light of this money shimmered, making the Seongguk family astonished. Initially, the fee was only 3,000 won, but because the director insisted they added a bit more, Seongguk pouted, cheering, "Here it is." As I thought choosing the path of a child actor was the right decision, he drooled with joy. Money is still the best. What other way could I earn this much while in a child's body? Seongguk calculated devilishly. This is enough to start a business if I invest in stocks or gold. The motorcycle taxi driver happily took the stack of money. So-young 4,000 won. I've never held such a large amount of money in my hands. Ji-seong looked puzzled at So-young's anxious expression. So-young, what's wrong? So-young spoke up, landlady. She pulled out a black business card last night. Actress Seon-mi gave me this. Seongguk immediately realized, that's why Mom was so shocked. Myung was also stunned when she saw the business card. What is this? Actress Seon-mi, her management company. Shinsung Entertainment. Myung asked again to confirm this is. So-young bowed and sighed. She really took a liking to Seongguk. So-young worriedly recounted she wants to bring Seongguk into her company. Shinsung Entertainment as an exclusive child actor. Myung glanced at the motorcycle taxi driver sitting in the car, an exclusive child actor. Ji-seong also worried. Are they planning to make our child famous? So-young shook her head. I'm not sure either. If Seongguk develops well, it's good. But this is too sudden after some contemplation. Myung also spoke up. Don't worry, I'll look into it. I've heard of Shinsung Entertainment. I'll check who their CEO is and how they treat their actors. So-young smiled gratefully. Landlady Myung. The nanny was also surprised she's willing to help to this extent. Myung bowed politely and stood up. Don't worry, stay calm and congratulate Seongguk on his debut as a commercial model. She opened the door and stepped outside the commercial will air for the first time in 2 weeks. Then I'll leave. First I have things to do. So-young suddenly shouted to stop her. Wait, landlady. Myung stopped. What's wrong? Do you feel uneasy? So-young awkwardly replied, It's not that. It's just why are you helping us so much? That question made Myung pause. She recognized Jeon Seongguk's talent and has always been willing to help us. Myung calmly replied, I just want to support you. So-young was surprised. Didn't expect that, huh? Myung smiled confidently. Since I was young, I've lived alone and struggled a lot. I had to save every meal, every piece of clothing to buy this building. Then 2 people moved in to rent a room. Seeing a young couple working so hard together is truly admirable. I just want to cheer you 2 on. In the end, it's just me being nosy, so don't feel any pressure. So-young suddenly fell into a silent void. Can I call you sister? The nanny was startled, huh? So-young shyly repeated. If you don't mind, I want to call you sister. I want to treat you like family. I also want to cook side dishes for you. Is that not okay, oh my? Myung closed her eyes and smiled, a truly warm family. She nodded in agreement. All right. So-young smiled warmly upon hearing this. Then from now on, I should call you So-young. Right? That's right, sister. Myung. Seongguk was sitting inside, eavesdropping. He closed his eyes contentedly. So that's how it is, Ji-seong asked Seongguk. What are you doing over there? The blue sky, white clouds, and soft sunlight. Today's weather is really nice. 2 weeks later in the evening, at a street-side restaurant. That's it for today's work. Thank you, everyone. As promised, we're closing early today. Ji-seong cried happily. Thank you so much for closing early, just so we can all watch Seongguk's commercial together. The owner laughed. Haha, my restaurant has a big screen TV, and I also really want to watch the motorcycle taxi driver's debut commercial. The owner pinched Seongguk's cheek, making him furious, this old man. If he weren't my dad's boss, I would never tolerate this kind of familiarity. Seongguk gloomily collapsed in the owner's arms, but today, since I owe him a favor, I'll let it slide. The sound of high heels echoed. Are you not late? Why? So Young warmly greeted, "Come in quickly." The nanny bowed politely and greeted the owner. "Excuse me, it's almost time you arrived, just in time. It feels like we're watching a movie together." Ji-seong loudly announced, "It's out, everyone! Sit down quickly." The weather is clear, but the laundry looks dull and dirty. Seon-mi and Seong-guk both pouted in difficulty. What should we do? Both So-young and Mi-young couldn't help but exclaim, "It's Seong-guk!" Oh my, a new revolution in laundry. Samjeon Tubo washer. Dad's shirt is also sparkling white like this. "How is it, my dear? Soft and clean, right?" Seong-guk contentedly hugged Dad's shirt. "Dad, oh, this is the essence of perfection. How can Seong-guk be so cute and angelic figure?" "The laundry is done with Tubo washer." The owner clapped and exclaimed, "Ha ha, excellent." Mi-young also agreed. "Absolutely perfect." So-young was also overjoyed. Sister Mi-young commented, "The editing is very smooth. If it goes well, this commercial could win. Commercial of the year." Seong-guk smugly thought, "You have a good eye." Ji-seong rushed over and hugged Seong-guk. "Seong-guk, Dad is so proud of you. How can such a beautiful and well-behaved child be my son?" Seong-guk cursed in his mind. "Shut up." The owner walked over to the table and picked up the phone. "This is One's Bossum Restaurant. We're closed today." The voice on the phone made him freeze. "What?" Jun-hae smirked. "I'm the director who filmed the commercial with Seong-guk. I heard you're all watching the commercial together today. I have an urgent matter to discuss with Seong-guk's family. Can we talk now?" "At the broadcasting company. Thank you for coming all the way here." Jun-hae shook Ji-seong's hand warmly and greeted Seong-guk's parents. "Thank you, director, for inviting us to the broadcasting station." Jun-hae bowed and asked Seong-guk, "How have you been lately?" Seizing the opportunity, Seong-guk quickly pointed at the director. Jun-hae was surprised. "Wow, the boy is talking more than before." So-young vaguely said he must be in the speaking stage now. "He babbles all day." "Dad, take Mom to eat?" Seong-guk talked so much that even his parents were stunned. Jun-hae became even more excited. "It seems we can give the boy longer lines now." Seong-guk's eyes lit up. "You're right, director." Seong-guk smugly thought, "Just wait soon. My son will flawlessly read any script you give him." Jun-hae said goodbye. Please have a seat. I'm really looking forward to Seong-guk's growth." Jun-hae discussed with the family. "As I mentioned before today, I called you here to discuss a program where the motorcycle taxi driver will play the lead role. The program is called Just Baby. It's a reality show about parenting, where 5 members of a famous idol group will live with Seong-guk. The group participating with us is..." The door opened, startling the Seong-guk family. "Hello." A young man with blonde hair introduced himself. "I'm Tae-hyung, the leader of Just. Looking forward to working with everyone." "Look! Tae-hyung is handsome with his blonde hair, driving the ladies crazy." Even So-young, who's married, couldn't escape. Ji-seong saw his wife acting strange and asked So-young. Tae-hyung exclaimed, "Oh, it seems you already know our group." So-young also warmly replied, "I've seen you guys on TV a few times." Tae-hyung blushed, though there's still a lot to improve. "We're striving to become the nation's #1 idol group. We hope for your support. Of course, you guys will definitely make it. Singing and dancing are also perfect." Ji-seong bit his lip, boiling with anger. "So-young likes another man besides me." Seong-guk helplessly looked at his dad, thinking, "Jealousy is ugly." "Dad," Jun-hae carefully instructed. "When filming starts, you'll meet the other members too. It sounds really exciting. We'll start immediately." So-young blushed and interrupted, but she was drenched in sweat. "Isn't this too much for our son?" Seong-guk sighed. "Mom, I won't forget that you chose me over an idol." Jun-hae firmly said, "I believe Seong-guk is the soul of this program." The boy understands and empathizes as if he truly understands what's happening. His expressions are extremely accurate, and he knows how to look at the camera. We can't imagine anyone else for this lead role. What do you think? Seong-guk jumped up in his heart. "Yes, we must definitely accept." I remember now in my past life I watched this program. The idea of combining an idol group with a baby captivated the audience. People of all ages found the baby adorable. "Oh, the baby is so cute." They also cheered for the idols when they struggled to take care of the child. Raising a child is hard work. Eventually, this program became a national phenomenon and the first program to lay the foundation for reality TV about parenting. The hero has returned. Mom, where is this? Seong-guk slammed the table in agreement while calculating director. Director, this is the perfect program for me. A future child star on the path to building a fortune. It seems Seong-guk is also excited about this. But Jeon Ji-seong is still a bit contemplative. I have some concerns. Jun-hae immediately asked, what is it? Ji-seong scratched his head. I'm worried that if Seong-guk keeps appearing on TV constantly, he won't be able to grow up like a normal child. Seong-guk looked up at his dad. I want to raise him as a normal child, a child who is loved, not a celebrity. Jun-hae panicked that. Taehyung completely understood. Taehyung quietly spoke to reassure. Actually, I was also a child actor, a public figure, which means I had to grow up under the scrutinizing eyes of everyone. But I have no regrets. I have a talent for broadcasting and performing because I was placed in the right environment to shine. I was able to get to where I am today. Why don't you trust your son? Ji-seong seemed enlightened. If he has the ability to shine, give him the chance to do so. Ji-seong silently looked at Jeon Seong-guk's shining eyes. Jeon Seong-guk, my son is more beautiful and talented than anyone if his destiny is to rise to the top and shine the brightest. Ji-seong finally realized, then I understand. The two shook hands in joy. Please take good care of Seong-guk, Korea's first reality show about parenting. Just baby counting down to the first filming. Day 12, the contract is signed. Part 4, Day 5, test filming is just a small matter. Day 2, finally the day everyone is waiting for. The day before the first filming day. Hello, the new standard of K-pop, we are just. The members in order are leader Taehyung, Lucas, Seon, and Michael. So-young covered her mouth to ease the awkwardness. You're Seong-guk, right? Nice to meet you, Seong-guk. I hope we can work well together. Jae-hyun cheerfully held So-young's hand. Especially you. I heard you're a fan of ours. Ji-seong turned red with jealousy while Seong-guk nervously looked up. Jun-hae clapped his hands to signal, from today, we'll be filming at Just Storm. Everyone raised their hands with explosive determination. The broadcasting station has high expectations for this show. Let's stay focused and do our best. The director said, forget the script, just be natural. Seong-guk frowned and looked around. These are definitely the people I met in my past life. Taehyung, the model for Samjeon's ads. Seon, the former exclusive idol of Samjeon, now an actor. Netkia. You remember the moment those two greeted me in my past life? Just Group greeted the chairman of Samjeon Group. Well done. Seong-guk frowned, thinking. So these are the guys who performed at our company event. A large figure suddenly blocked Seong-guk's view. Are you our baby? Michael joked. Not that cute, huh? The guys snorted, cursing under their breath, then pushed Michael's hand away. How dare you touch me so casually? Michael looked at his swollen red finger. What's with this kid? Taehyung was startled. Michael, you smoked without washing your hands, didn't you? Taehyung scolded. Don't touch the baby with dirty hands, Ji-seong asked Han. Is my son okay? Ji-seong annoyed. Thought, this Korean-American guy is as troublesome as in my past life. From now on, I'll take control of this show. He smiled victoriously. I'll create perfect character arcs for everyone. Taehyung and Seon were amused. The kid's cute, right? In a corner, Michael was angrily touching his injured finger. He smirked cunningly. Just wait and see. At that moment, AK Jun-hae suddenly clapped. Speak up, everyone. The filming process will go as follows. He instructed, from today, we'll film first at Just's dorm for 3 days, then edit it into 3 pilot episodes to air first. Based on the audience's reaction, we'll decide whether to officially broadcast it. Jun-hae suggested that during the day, they would film according to the script. At night, the staff would retreat, leaving only surveillance cameras. He cheerfully turned to Seong-guk's family. Seong-guk's parents can rest at a nearby hotel. So-young, hearing this, felt a bit anxious and hesitated. Suddenly, Jun-hae confidently thumped his chest and shouted, I know leaving your child here will make you worry, but trust us. We'll take the best care of Seong-guk, he shouted, right just, and received agreement from both Taehyung and Lucas, who replied in unison. Of course, leave it to us, sis. Everyone in the room was so excited that they all shouted together, Let's do our best. A while later, the assistant director gently said, let's start with the first scene. The narration before the official voiceover will be recorded later by a professional voice actor. Somewhere in Seoul, 5 guys live together in a semi-basement apartment. While they're striving to become the top idol group, suddenly a baby appears in their lives. At that moment, Jeon Seong-guk stared at the 5 members of Just with sparkling eyes. Taehyung also looked happily, but didn't say a word. The atmosphere between both sides remained awkward, with no one saying a word to each other, just staring. Seeing this, So-young whispered to Jun-hae. No lines, Jun-hae replied, because it's a reality show. After a while, the assistant director also asked awkwardly, they still haven't reacted. Jun-hae immediately reassured. Just wait and see. Taehyung shyly turned to Jae-hyun and whispered, the camera's rolling. Say something. But Taehyung replied, but what should I say to a baby? The guys observed the 5 of them and thought to themselves with confident expressions, these kids really don't know what to do. He continued thinking, let me start first coming to such an unfamiliar environment. Just as he finished his thoughts, he suddenly burst into tears in front of everyone. Lucas was startled and exclaimed, oh no! Taehyung, equally panicked, rushed to Seong-guk, reminding him, you have to comfort him. Taehyung picked up the baby, but it only made him cry harder. While he kept comforting Seong-guk, Jae-hyun, witnessing this scene, felt something was off and said, wait, your holding position seems wrong. He reached out and said to Taehyung, let me hold the baby. Then he cradled Seong-guk in his arms and gently said, you're startled, aren't you? The other members, seeing that he could comfort Seong-guk, couldn't help but admire him, calling his name Jae-hyun. He shyly replied, kids like handsome guys too. Suddenly, both sides raised their voices. What the hell? Don't you know kids can judge people? Meanwhile, Seong-guk thought to himself, just as I expected. He acknowledged in his heart that each of these guys had their own unique traits. He slowly gave his opinion about each person. Taehyung is strong, has leadership qualities, and is smart. While Taehyung called him, come on Seong-guk. Jae-hyun is gentle and handsome, but a bit narcissistic as he said, this handsome guy will feed you. Next is Lucas, who proudly lifted the original motorcycle and shouted, higher. In his heart, the original motorcycle thought Lucas is a kind guy with a friendly style from the sports world. Finally, there's Baeom Seon, who is quiet but always caring warmly. He secretly thought this lineup is perfect for playing family roles. Seong-guk prophetically assigned roles to each person perfectly. Suddenly, Seong-guk looked towards Michael and saw him complaining, no matter how you look at it, babysitting is exhausting. He immediately thought, as for that carefree guy, if possible, I would have cast him as the villain, but since the group needs to develop, let's make them a pair of rivals. Then he pointed towards Michael, attracting his attention. Jae-hyun glanced down at Seong-guk and saw that he seemed to be sulking about something. Jae-hyun panicked and turned to Taehyung. I think we need to change the car's diaper. It feels heavy. Taehyung was startled and shouted, what, I've never touched a diaper before? While both were flustered, not knowing what to do, a voice suddenly rang out. Michael suddenly strode forward with a high-pitched tone. Let big brother Michael handle it. I've taken care of 3 siblings before. Hearing those words, everyone shouted Michael's name while he gently placed Seong-guk on the mat and proudly said, piece of cake. Suddenly, Seong-guk made a face as if he was about to attack. Michael, seeing this, looked at him with concern. And then Seong-guk suddenly peed straight into Michael's face, making him shout. Seong-guk thought happily, so refreshing, huh? At least react a bit. He laughed loudly into the unusually silent room. Taehyung, seeing something was wrong, quickly stepped forward to call Michael, trying to dispel the atmosphere. Michael suddenly said, what? Then he angrily shouted, this little brat! He was about to rush towards Seong-guk when Taehyung stopped him, comforting him. Calm down, Michael. Your opponent is a baby. But the reaction of the filming crew was different. They couldn't stop laughing. Seong-guk thought they got a direct hit. Look, we just captured an interesting scene. The behind-the-scenes staff burst into laughter. This scene was a success. Late in the afternoon, a voice shouted, "Cut!" Junhei announced, "Take a 2-hour break, then we'll film the evening session." The members of just hearing the announcement sat down tiredly. Lucas complained, "Reality. It's tough." Taehyung also complained, "Having a script would be better." Both Soyoung and Ji-seong then came to visit Seongguk to see how he was doing. Ji-seong picked him up, while Soyoung happily asked Seongguk, "You've had a tough day, huh?" Seongguk responded with an excited reaction, thinking, "It's nothing." Soyoung approached and asked, "You must be hungry. Have a light snack." Seongguk ate while pondering. "In my past life, I didn't care for this, but now it tastes strangely good." While watching his child eat, Ji-seong heard someone call Dad Seongguk. He turned to look and saw that the person calling him was Taehyung. He said, "Taehyung, you've had a tough day filming all day." Taehyung politely replied, "Oh my, just call me Taehyung comfortably." Ji-seong awkwardly said, Then Taehyung." Taehyung replied casually, "Just talk naturally." He calmly said, "Seongguk is truly amazing. He shared being with that kid. I get swept up in the situation without realizing it. Everyone is just acting naturally. Yet it creates countless interesting moments very much in our style. For example, Jae-hyun exclaimed, 'Handsome and good with kids, truly the perfect character named me.'" Taehyung continued, "It's as if Seongguk knows everyone's roles and adjusts accordingly." Seongguk, hearing this, thought to himself, "Do you feel that too?" Ji-seong stammered, "It's probably just a coincidence, right?" Taehyung agreed. "Right. After all, he's still a baby, but," he affirmed, "that kid is definitely brighter than you think." The noisy conversation reached the point where Michael had just finished showering. He stepped out annoyed, thinking, "Damn kid, is babysitting really an artist's job?" Suddenly, the assistant director exclaimed, "Put this in the fridge." Michael was surprised and called the assistant director. Michael curiously asked, "What's that?" The assistant director thought, "This guy using the excuse of being an overseas Korean speaks so casually." She replied, "This is baby food for Seongguk for tonight's filming." Suddenly, Michael snatched the food from the assistant director's hand, startling her. He said in a low voice, "Give it here." Then he smiled mischievously. "I'll prepare it carefully and feed the kid." He thought to himself, "Babysitting is so boring, huh?" He thought, "I'll turn this into a truly entertaining scene," while pulling out a spicy packet he had prepared earlier from his pocket. At that moment, Michael held the spicy packet he had prepared earlier, thinking, "Making artists babysit is the dumbest thing. Michael will create a truly entertaining scene." He tore the packet open with his teeth, muttering, "Dare to pee on my face, huh?" He poured the spicy packet directly into Seongguk's food box, laughing maliciously. This time, it's the kid's turn to taste it. At that moment, the assistant director announced, "The surveillance cameras are all set. Good, everyone leave the set." He shouted, "We're counting on just for tonight." A moment later, the door slammed shut and a voice rang out, "Got it!" Since Taehyung wondered what to do now. But everyone was almost exhausted. Lucas complained, "Reality shows are so tough." Beom-seon also complained, "Just act naturally like usual." Then he looked up at the camera installed in the corner of the wall. Scared. "With so many cameras, how can we act naturally?" Lucas asked tiredly. "Can we eat dinner first? I'm so hungry. I don't know how to cook." Jae-hyun at that moment had already passed out, only leaving a message on the floor, making Seongguk go out to pat him. Seongguk thought, "This guy is already exhausted." Seeing Jae-hyun like that made Lucas so worried that he exclaimed, "Of course we'll take care of it. Rest, Jae-hyun." Lucas turned and went into the kitchen, thinking, "Should I cook instant noodles?" At that moment, Taehyung suddenly remembered something. "We also need to prepare porridge for Seongguk." As soon as he finished speaking, someone replied, "That's taken care of." Michael cheerfully replied, "I've already handled it," while holding the cup of porridge he had spiked with the spicy packet earlier. Taehyung was amazed and praised. "Oh, what's this? Michael, who's been causing trouble all along, is now helping Michael." Happily replied, "Whatever you say." He slowly approached Seongguk, smiling sinisterly with a shady tone. "Let me feed the kid." This made Seongguk feel something strange about Michael. He observed him and frowned, thinking this guy doesn't seem good at all. He started calling, "Come on, kid, eat. This super delicious food was made by your mom." Suddenly, Seongguk snatched the spoon from the bowl, surprising Michael, who shouted, "What?" Then Seongguk smiled brightly, pointing the spoon of porridge towards Michael. Seeing this, he said, "Want Michael to try it first? Seongguk is so well-behaved and cute." Michael, annoyed, shouted, "What? What are you saying?" Seongguk angrily thought, "What else I want this guy to try it first?" Seeing Michael hesitate, Taehyung immediately urged, "What's wrong?" "Michael, Seongguk is waiting," Michael replied in a low voice. "Why should I eat baby food?" Taehyung, hearing this, gently nudged his shoulder to remind him, "It's just food. All right, I'll take Seongguk's love." He opened his mouth and said, "Come on, give it to Taehyung." Then the spoon of porridge was slowly fed into Taehyung's mouth. Michael, flustered, shouted, "Hey, wait!" As soon as the porridge entered Taehyung's mouth, he tasted a terrible flavor throughout his mouth. Quickly, he vomited it all out. Jae-hyun, seeing this, hurriedly asked Taehyung what's wrong. Seongguk, seeing Taehyung's expression, thought angrily, "I knew there was something fishy." Michael imagined the scenario of Seongguk as a devil appearing, reminding him, "Dare to mess with my food. You must want to kill me." Taehyung finally regained his composure to answer Jae-hyun's question. "There's a spicy sauce." Jae-hyun, hearing this, was shocked and exclaimed, "In Seongguk's porridge, impossible." Everyone immediately shouted Michael's name, scaring him. He shouted, admitting, "Yes, I added a bit of spicy sauce. Babysitting is so boring, so I added some fun." He raised his voice even more. "It'll make the show more entertaining, right? Do you guys understand entertainment?" But Taehyung disagreed with his opinion and immediately retorted, "Even if it's an entertainment show, there are limits." Jae-hyun couldn't take it anymore. He quickly rushed over, grabbed Michael's collar and angrily shouted, "If Seongguk ate the spicy sauce and something happened." "What then? Are you crazy?" Seongguk, seeing him secretly praised Jae-hyun, is so authoritative. Suddenly someone approached and called his name Seongguk. Taehyung gently said, "Sorry, Michael isn't very mature, is he?" Michael, seeing Taehyung like that, exclaimed, "Why so serious? The kid can't even talk yet." Taehyung, annoyed, replied, "Seongguk is very smart and understands everything. Stay quiet and repent." He continued, "Whether you understand or not, you should apologize properly." Seongguk thought, these guys have some potential. He laughed happily and came up with an idea. "All right, from now on, I'll take the lead." 2 weeks later at Seongguk's house, a voice rang out. Both Soyoung and Jiseong shouted 20%. Myung boasted to them, "You guys saw it too, right? The first episode of Just Baby aired this Friday, and the rating hit 20%. Soyoung was stunned and said, "We were happy to see Seongguk participate," but Jiseong also added, 20% is a terrifying number, right? Sum o kati kemaya. Myung calmly replied, "Not just terrifying, but super terrifying. The most popular show on MVC only gets around 15%. Then Soyoung quickly added that the director had just called to inform them that the show would be officially broadcast. Junhae joyfully announced, "We did it! Seongguk's mom. We succeeded." Myung, hearing this, couldn't help but be happy. "Really, that's great." She also praised Seongguk. "Congratulations, Seongguk." Seongguk immediately thought, "Once it's in my hands, achieving this level is natural." Then he continued thinking, "But I can't be satisfied with just this. My goal is money, fame, wealth, and to stand at the top." After thinking, he laughed non-stop, secretly proud of himself. A genius like me. Myung, seeing this, couldn't help but think, this kid is strange in many ways. Then Soyoung suddenly remembered something and said, "Oh right, sis, I have something to ask." She mentioned that a few days ago, someone from Samjeon Entertainment came to their house, making Myung exclaim, "What?" She awkwardly continued, "They congratulated us on the show's success, brought a basket of fruits, and said." The person conveyed, "Oh, it's nothing big. Chairman Jin Jang-gong wants to meet you once. Whenever you have time, we hope you can visit the company." After Soyoung finished, she hurriedly asked, "What should we do? Should we go?" Hearing the story, Myung pondered and explained, As I mentioned before, I've also looked into Samjeon. This company seems to have significant influence in the entertainment industry, but there are many unfavorable rumors about them, including that they're involved with gangs. Both Soyoung and Jiseong, hearing this, were shocked and exclaimed gangs. Myung calmly reassured. Let's go and see, first making the couple restless and shout, "Ah!" She also explained further, Chairman Jang Gong's invitation isn't easy to refuse. Let's go and hear what they want. I'll go with you. She said if it doesn't feel right, we can firmly decline and leave. Meanwhile, Sung-guk thought Samjeon Entertainment Jin Jang Gong sounds familiar. Suddenly he remembered something he had forgotten. Could it be that name? He quickly waved his hand and shouted to attract everyone's attention, wanting to warn them. No, wait, stop! That name, it's him! In some room, a man slammed his hand on the table, his aggressive voice ringing out, making Soyoung and Myung tremble non-stop. The old man boldly asked, "Are the conditions just mentioned satisfactory, along with Seongguk's inner warning to absolutely not sign a contract with Jin Jang Gong?" Jang Gong politely invited, "Please sit. Make yourselves at home." Myung nodded. "Thank you for inviting us, CEO Jin Jang Gong. But what is the reason you wanted to meet us? I want to discuss something beneficial for our Seongguk." Seongguk's veins popped in anger. "Our Seongguk, do you know me?" He squirmed uncomfortably inside. Soyoung and Myung asked beneficial how. Jin Jang Gong majestically replied, "My intention is an exclusive contract, of course. In other words, Seongguk will become a partner of Samjeon Entertainment, Korea's #1 entertainment company." Myung looked at the contract suspiciously. "Seongguk will become your partner. A 10-year exclusive contract. What do you all think?" Myung seriously asked, "An exclusive contract for 10 years. You all must know Jang Dong-gun and Im Seon-mi, right? This is a contract with Samjeon Entertainment, where top stars gather. We highly value Seongguk's talent, so we've prepared extremely favorable terms." Soyoung, with tears streaming down her face, said Sis Myung, "Please take a look at the contract." Myung was startled when she saw the words on the contract. "Sorry, but this..." Jang Gong quickly interrupted. "A 10-year exclusive contract with a 70-30 profit split. Of course we take 70%. Seongguk, hearing the number, was horrified. 70%. This is ridiculous. He keeps 70% of the income for 10 years. These terms are no different from labor exploitation, forcing an unfair contract on a rising child actor. Jang Gong laughed loudly. "Everyone thinks this is a great opportunity." The security guard also agreed. "That's right, boss." Seongguk cautiously thought this way of squeezing them to the bone. Seongguk gritted his teeth angrily. "You're exactly as I remember, Jin Jang Gong." In my past life, Jang Gong had a very close relationship with Samjeon, more precisely with my father, Vice Chairman Jae Hyung. My father, through his acquaintance with Jin Jang Gong via Im Seon-mi, handed over Samjeon's advertising contracts to entertainment. And Jang Gong showed loyalty to my father. In the end, he ended up in prison for threatening and assaulting his artists. Shin-sung Entertainment scandals, unfair contracts, hidden violence, threats, and assaults. He confidently said, "I, Jin Jang Gong, have been in this industry for over 10 years, but I've never seen a child actor as exceptionally talented as Seongguk." He bared his teeth and proposed, "If you hand Seongguk over to me, I'll turn the boy into a great actor." Jang Gong smirked. "Child actors are only famous when they're young. Tie them up with long-term contracts. While they're at their peak, exploit their advertising revenue to the fullest, then discard them when they're no longer valuable. Without any backing, they're the perfect targets for exploitation." Myung coldly slammed the contract shut. "Sorry, but we can't sign this contract." Seongguk sat and cheered. "Oh, the landlady," Jin Jang Gong asked amiably. "Why is that? A 70-30 split is too unfair, and a 10-year contract is completely unsuitable for Seongguk, because Seongguk's value will only continue to rise in the future." Jang Gong frowned. Hit where it hurt. "You're too confident, aren't you? I understand you find the boy cute, but you know nothing about the entertainment industry, right? The child actor market isn't as big as you think. Compared to adult actors, they earn next to nothing." Hearing his nonsense made Seong-guk grit his teeth. Is this old man looking down on me? When they grow up and their faces change, their value decreases. So-young flinched and covered her ears. Sir, what are you saying? How can you say such things in front of a child? Mi-young nodded. Meanwhile, Seong-guk was fuming. Hey, old man, look at yourself old and wrinkled like a toad. As for me, Seong-guk, I'll only become more outstanding. Got it. Seong-guk squirmed, wanting to speak, but couldn't. So-young turned pale. Calm down, son. Mi-young stood up calmly and refused. You really lack vision. Anyway, we'll take our leave now. Jang Gong frowned. Wait a minute. You're not even Jeon Seong-guk's mother, so why do you keep interfering? Outsiders should stay out of this. So-young fumed. Outsiders. I'm the manager. So-young itched when she heard Mi-young declare, I've already said it. I'm the boy's manager, so I have the right to speak, don't I? Old Jang Gong was skeptical. What are you saying? Mi-young stood up and urged, Let's go. So-young, I've worked in the advertising industry before. I can confirm this contract is completely unfair. He bit his lip, glaring at Mi-young. Fine. We'll take our leave. Jang Gong lowered his head and threatened, You'll regret this. He turned furious and shouted, How dare you look down on me? Jin Jang Gong, do you think you can still work in the television industry? The guys huffed angrily. He had shown his true colors. Mi-young calmly replied, We'll see. The three of them quickly left Shinsung Group. So-young worried, sis, your veins are popping. What a piece of trash. Daring to threaten a pregnant woman. Is he even human? Seong-guk agreed. Exactly. Mi-young also looked worriedly at So-young. So-young, are you okay? You must be in shock. So-young smiled. I think you're more stressed than I am. Mi-young waved her hand. It's fine. People like him are everywhere in this industry. Anyway, we don't need to sign a contract with a company like that. Mi-young smiled. Let's cross the street and catch the bus, sis. Are you really going to become Seong-guk's manager? So-young's question made Mi-young jump. Seong-guk also looked pleased. It's not a bad decision, Mom. In business, there are many talented people. But those who are both talented and trustworthy are extremely rare. The landlady understands the entertainment industry. Most importantly, she has proven her trustworthiness many times. Someone who is both talented and trustworthy is the best talent. Mi-young hesitated. So-young, I'm not an expert in the entertainment industry. Seong-guk's eyes sparkled as he pulled Mi-young's hand. He pointed and babbled Jejo-ah, which meant become my colleague. Mi-young was flustered. So-young smiled happily. Sis, I think Seong-guk really likes you. My husband and I really don't know anything about this industry. Please help us protect Seong-guk's future. Mi-young blushed. Really, thanks to everyone, I'll have a new dream. So, I'll do my best as the boy's manager. Both Seong-guk and his mother happily hugged Mi-young welcome manager Kim. Let's make a lot of money together. You'll pay me well, right? Of course I'll give you everything, sis. That's not right, haha. At Samjeon Company, a report came in. The woman who claimed to be the manager is named Kim Mi-young. She works in the advertising industry. She's also the landlady where Jeon Seong-guk's family is renting. Jang Gong sneered. The landlady. What a messy group. He sinisterly declared, if they're not under my wing, I'll make them taste the harshness of the entertainment industry. Call the reporters immediately. Taehyung's scolding echoed in the room. Stop it! What are you doing? Michael, and Seong-guk were sulking, devouring bananas. Michael turned and cursed, I like bananas too, but you guys keep giving them all to Seong-guk. Hey kid, stop eating. How many more are you going to eat? Seong-guk pouted and cursed silently. I'm eating more because I don't want to give you any. So what? Give it here. The argument between Michael and Seong-guk made the whole set laugh. The banana is yours. But some people also sighed helplessly. Haha, so funny, Michael. Michael and Seong-guk kept fighting, neither willing to back down. Taehyung trembled more and more. These two kids of mine know. This kid dares to hit me. A desperate scream echoed in the cold, snowy weather. I said, stop right now. Junhae shouted to pause the filming. The young couple happily watched their son, Seong-guk. Thank you everyone for your hard work this morning. Let's take a break and have lunch. Junhae called Seong-guk's mom. Junhae walked over to So-young. director waiting on set. Are you tired? Not at all. Even though we've been filming for a few months, everything is still wonderful and exciting for me. But you're pregnant. If there's any difficulty, let me know anytime. So-young contentedly rubbed her belly. Thank you. When is the due date? So-young excitedly replied. It's soon late December or early January. Junhei hesitated. Michael, So-young, tilted her head. What about him? The audience really likes his personality arguing with Jeon Seong-guk like Tom and Jerry. Junhei nodded. These kids, even I think Michael is sometimes a bit too much. I'm worried this might make you uncomfortable. So-young also vaguely understood About that I trust you, director. I also find their arguments very entertaining. Junhei agreed, I understand. I'll pay more attention. Thank you. Mi-young stood to the side, quietly listening to their conversation. Then she decisively left. Taehyung stretched tiredly. Shall we have lunch together? Seong-guk sighed contentedly. Even after filming so many times, I still can't get used to this feeling. Seong-guk pursed his lips dreamily. I ate too many bananas, now I feel a bit sleepy. A glint of murderous intent appeared in Michael's eyes, making Seong-guk flinch. Michael growled, Did you really hit me earlier? How rude. Seong-guk also gritted his teeth to compete. You're really funny. Actually, it's just your rebellious nature being labeled as a bad boy and then overlooked. Michael the youngest immature jealous of the new little brother. The viewers' forum, I bet they're like this too when the cameras are off. The rivalry between Seong-guk and Michael is so cute. Seong-guk grumbled inwardly, pointing at Michael. You've been a bit too much lately. I'm keeping an eye on you. Do you want to be taught a lesson? Michael also trembled and avoided, Oh my, you're really crazy. What kind of temper is this? He pinched Seong-guk's cheek here. Michael stretched Seong-guk's chubby cheeks. Seong-guk cried out in pain. Are you crazy? Michael panicked. Can you be quiet? I'm holding on tight, I think. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Michael. He turned pale and flinched. What? Mi-young crossed her arms sternly. Did you just pinch Seong-guk's cheek? It's nothing, that kid is just exaggerating. Seong-guk wasn't the type to sulk or cry for no reason. Seong-guk smirked. My manager is doing a great job. I've noticed you've been touching Seong-guk a lot during filming recently. Please limit that. Michael snapped. Are you warning me? Why are you overprotecting such an ordinary child? Mi-young frowned. Ordinary. But thanks to that boy, haven't you filmed quite a few commercials? Hearing this, Michael could only grit his teeth and stay silent. She gently picked up Seong-guk and reminded, please be professional and stop being violent with the child. Mi-young coldly carried Seong-guk away. I trust you understand what I mean. Michael's whole body trembled as if struck by lightning. The veins in his eyes bulged with anger. What the hell is this? I came to Korea to become a real artist, not to be a babysitter for that kid. Michael was in turmoil. The members keep staring at me after the spicy sauce incident. Is there any way to make this damn show fail? I don't need this pile of trash to succeed. The noisy ringtone made Michael annoyed. What is it? I'm busy. Make it quick. The voice on the phone made Michael itch what Shin-sung Entertainment. A fresh morning in this modern city. At the broadcasting station, everyone please make yourselves comfortable. Junhei stood up to speak. Thank you all for coming to today's special production meeting. And Taehyung, despite being busy, still attended. Taehyung smiled happily. As the leader of Just, I definitely had to be here. And Seong-guk's family, who are now like our own family. Before we start the meeting, Junhei held a shiny envelope in his hand, a bonus for everyone's hard work. So-young seemed surprised. Again, last week our ratings finally surpassed 30%. Just Baby's weekly ratings chart is extremely popular, especially with Seong-guk. There's not much time left until the final episode. I hope everyone continues to do their best. Look at Seong-guk and Taehyung's money-hungry eyes. 34, huh? Junhei slammed a paper on the table. Now on to the main topic of today's meeting, producing the special Christmas episode. Christmas is coming, and the higher-ups have requested a special 90-minute episode with a family atmosphere. Junhei smiled. Seong-guk, you've gotten really good at walking and running lately, haven't you? Seongguk shrugged. I practice walking and running every day. Seongguk and the Just, members in Christmas costumes. So-young was overwhelmed by the beautiful scene. Partying and dancing together, this scene will be beautiful. Junhae was excited. The kid seems to like it, huh? So about the details, director. The assistant director's desperate scream echoed, we have a problem. The news just baby causes a sensation. The news reports that Seongguk is being exploited for labor due to his parents' greed. Hot news tonight, I've compiled the most important news of the week. The first news, this is the topic that's causing a stir everywhere, right? Just baby shocking child actor, Seongguk family scandal. There's a concerning article, right? The article claims that Seongguk is being exploited by his own parents. Yes, but it seems like a baseless article without concrete evidence. Still, the public is worried about Seongguk. The TV suddenly turned off after that statement. Both Junhae and Seongguk's family were shocked by the news. So-young's face turned pale with fear. What should we do? Junhae tried to reassure. Don't worry, it's just tabloid rumors trying to sabotage a successful show. This is very common in the television industry. Mi-young narrowed her eyes. I'll investigate why that article was published. Seongguk stood up majestically. Really? So-young, with tears in her eyes, looked at her son Seongguk. He pointed angrily at the director. Seongguk decisively pointed closer, uncle. His action made Junhae sweat waiting. Now Ji-seong quickly stopped Seongguk. This kid dares to be rude to the director. Seongguk sighed, thinking, these smear campaigns are ultimately just power struggles. Who released that article? We need to quickly find out what they're aiming for by attacking us and strike first to win. Seongguk urged, looking at Junhae. Finally, a director with many connections in the industry must act. Do well. Junhae smiled half-heartedly. So-young is right. Ji-seong was a bit flustered, director. Since this issue stems from the TV show The Broadcasting Station, and I need to handle it appropriately. Seongguk nodded in approval. You have principles. Currently, reporters might be lurking around here for a while. Though it's a bit uncomfortable, please stay home as much as possible. Perhaps we should also pause going to the set for a while. So-young worried. What about Seongguk? Mi-young firmly replied, I'll take care of the boys' matters. The schedule immediately brightened. Junhae praised, well done, manager. I trust you. Mi-young confidently said, leave it to me. I also have something to discuss. Junhae stood up calmly. Anyway, I'll try to resolve this as quickly as possible. Please don't worry too much. Everything will pass. A starry night under the streetlights in a dark alley. The assistant director stood waiting under the streetlight director. Are you done talking? But what greeted her was Junhae's thoughtful face. Junhae whispered softly. About that article, what's going on? Junhae suspiciously said, according to a reliable source, Seongguk's parents come to the set every day and interfere with everything. That's what the article says. It seems there's a mole in our team. Is it you? During the audition, you tried hard to flatter the superiors. The assistant director panicked and shook her head. What? No, it's not me. That time I almost got fired by you. I've completely given up on those tricks. Junhae, hearing this, could only hold his chin and ponder. Then who is it? Christmas is coming. The bell ringer shouted, please help our neighbors in need. Let's enjoy Christmas. The young couple laughed while looking at the snow. The black-haired guy smiled brightly, teasing, a beautiful snowy night, isn't it wonderful? I mean, it's wonderful. But where did this strangely dressed person pushing a stroller come from? The young couple whispered, why wear sunglasses at night? Suspicious and wrapped in a scarf, too. Movement in the stroller. What's that sound? Sounds like a baby crying. So-young signaled to be quiet. Seongguk, be quiet, she screamed in her heart. Maybe we shouldn't have come out. We promised the director to stay home, but I really can't sit still anymore. I want to go out and breathe some fresh air. So-young struggled, her lips twitching as she comforted Seongguk. Feeling trapped is so uncomfortable. Let's take a walk and then pick up my husband from work. There he is. Honey, I'm so touched. Sweetheart, this should be fine. So-young gently patted Seongguk. Seongguk, be good. Mom knows you want to walk, but we can't be discovered. Bear with it a little longer, okay? Seongguk gritted his teeth, thinking I have to sit in a stroller at this age. So humiliating. So humiliating. I want to walk on my own 2 feet. So-young forced a smile. Good boy. Did you watch Just Baby this week? Their conversation caught So-young's attention. Of course, it's the special Christmas episode. Taehyung in a Santa Claus outfit, both handsome and cute. And Seongguk too, sitting in a capitalist pose. The reindeer is cute, but the little snowman Seongguk is truly a harsh reality. I want to bite him so badly, so adorable. I live just to watch Just Baby every week. It's a pity the show is ending soon. So-young pouted proudly while Seongguk thought arrogantly, these girls have good taste. So-young was startled, listening carefully. But have you seen that article? There's a new article. This time it's more detailed, saying the boy's parents are greedy and Seongguk is cunning. Come on, does that make sense? Seongguk won't even be 3 until next year. But sometimes I also think Seongguk seems unusually smart. Seongguk was furious. How dare they talk like that about Jeon Seongguk's genius acting skills? The traffic light turned green. Let's cross the street. The two of them silently stepped onto the road, leaving the harshness behind for So-young. Her face was pale and silent as she pushed the stroller. Seongguk anxiously looked at So-young's mom. Ji-seong's warm voice rang out. He cheerfully ran over. So-young and Seongguk are here too. Did you come all this way to see me? It's cold outside. I told you it wasn't necessary. So-young's body trembled with each step, honey. She tried to hold back her tears but failed. So-young's eyes were already stained with tears. What? Seongguk panicked, holding his wife's shoulders. So-young, are you crying? What happened? Seongguk bit his lip. Even the public is starting to be affected by the tabloid rumors. This situation is really dangerous. We need to take action. Ji-seong slammed the table. I can't tolerate this anymore. This really can't go on. As the pillar of the family, I must protect my family. Junhae also felt guilty but powerless. I sincerely apologize. Even though the broadcasting station has tried to control the reporters, because the public is too interested in Seongguk, the rumors continue to spread. Ji-seong shouted, but we can't just let things go on like this. We have to do something. Junhae tapped his fingers on the table. Actually, I think the best way is to confront it head-on. Ji-seong was a bit confused. Confront it head-on? Junhae nodded. If you two agree, we can try a live interview to confront it directly. Ji-seong said with difficulty, we'll do the live interview after December 31st, at a high-rise building. The Just group hugged Seongguk and appeared together in front of the camera. Hello, the new standard of music. We are Just and Seongguk too. Taehyung smiled brightly like a flower. So it's the last day of the year. Jaehyun hugged Seongguk's face, rubbing it back and forth, playing with the adorable Seongguk. We didn't realize time flies so fast. Thank you, Beom-seon, holding a signboard with all the information. Let's enjoy the year-end compilation episode of Just Baby on January 7th. The journey of Just and Seongguk is about to end. We'll return with a special New Year's episode. The assistant director held the TV remote, watching the Just group's video. Please continue to support Just Baby until the very end. She turned to look at Ji-seong and So-young. This episode has already started airing. Then let's begin too. A while later, the couple started preparing for the interview. Yes, adjust the camera angle, look at them, and smile happily. You're thinking right. Nothing clears up controversy better than an interview. That's why stars often hold press conferences. Since this is a closed set between us, don't be nervous. The director will be here soon. The two of them awkwardly agreed. Yes. Seeing them too tense, she reassured, just relax. I'll check the equipment one last time. Seeing the person leave, So-young sighed to calm herself down. Phew, I'm so nervous. He sadly called her So-young. His face was filled with guilt. I'm sorry. She looked at him confused. Huh? Why are you saying that? His emotions were extremely bad. You're close to your due date, and yet you're going through all this trouble. I feel like I've caused more problems. She hugged her belly and comforted him. No, honey. Because of Seongguk. I also want to do this. You were amazing standing up to protect our family like a true pillar. He was comforted, and his mood improved a bit. So-young. You're truly the best today. Kim Mi-young carried Seongguk over to them. Are you two ready? Seongguk, sitting in her arms, cheered for his parents. You can do it. The two were surprised to see her. Sis, she walked over, looked at him, and couldn't stop praising. I was really surprised when you two suddenly decided to do the interview. He thought uncomfortably. I know. He had a headache, thinking to himself, I always thought they were the most timid parents, just trying to get by. Day by day, the most ordinary among ordinary people. He stroked his small chin. Yet suddenly they took such a bold step, a live interview. Not bad, but why dare to take such a risk? So Young and her husband ran over to hug their child. Our Seongguk, you look so handsome today. Our beloved son. Trust us, we will definitely clear all these malicious rumors. He seemed to understand something. Tears suddenly falling. Don't tell me you're doing this interview because of me. Thinking this, he hugged his mother even tighter. Even Mom is trembling in front of the camera, let alone in front of so many people. She looked at her son and comforted him gently. Seongguk. The female assistant and Mi-young stood nearby, feeling the atmosphere was very touching. A knock on the door sounded. Hello, assistant. I thought the director was here. She happily opened the door. Director, you're here. All preparations for the interview are complete. Before she could finish, she noticed many people standing outside. Taehyung ran over and asked, What are you talking about? A live interview. She struggled to explain. The thing is, we wanted to clarify the negative rumors. Initially, we planned to keep it private, but too many reporters showed up. There must be a leak from within. Taehyung tried to get attention from the crowd, waving his hand and shouting, Director! He saw him and quickly ran over. The crowd, seeing him, immediately started whispering, Isn't that the leader of Just Yes, It's Just? He shouted, This has to stop now. With so many reporters here, even I, an idol, feel the pressure. He helplessly shook his head. It's already started. I tried my best to stop it, but the crowd gathered uncontrollably. The reporters kept filming the flashes continuously aimed at them. Look over here, please! The reporters started bombarding with questions. What made you decide to do this interview? Are those articles true? Please answer Seongguk's parents. He clenched his teeth and hugged his wife tightly. Please remain silent. My wife is in the final stage of her pregnancy. Please don't shout like that, and stop flashing the lights continuously. If everyone speaks calmly, I'll try to answer as best as I can. A reporter shouted, Then explain, why did you cause this uproar? He turned to face them. As everyone knows, there have been many articles writing unpleasant things about our family. We did grow up in an orphanage. Since childhood, we had nothing. When we grew up and left the orphanage, we only had each other, but we worked day and night to build a family. We attached doll eyes for 10 each, and were proud to have always lived honestly. Our neighbors discovered the boy's talent, and that's why we're here today. In short, what I want to say is we're not cruel parents exploiting our son for money. Please don't hurt my family with baseless rumors. The reporters wouldn't let them go. But how can we believe you? How much money have you earned? Show us your bank account. Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? He stood aside, starting to lose patience. These people jumped down from Mi-young's arms. Seongguk. He stood in front of his parents. Enough. Stop bullying my parents. Stop it, you terrible reporters. That's what he wanted to say, but he couldn't pronounce it correctly yet, so he let it go for now. Taehyung wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes and looked at the director. He seemed to understand what he wanted to say and nodded in agreement. End the interview here. The assistant director immediately stopped the live broadcast. He saw the situation had stabilized and turned to look at his father. Dad, are you okay, Seongguk? Ji-seong hugged him tightly. My son, I'm sorry. I'm not good at speaking. He patted his shoulder to comfort him. It's okay, Dad. You did great. You looked so cool. He felt something was wrong and turned to look at his mother. Mom, are you okay? Her face was pale, cold sweat soaking her clothes. He panicked and shouted, Mom. She said in pain. Seongguk, I think my labor pains have started. Hearing her say that, the faces of the father and son turned ashen. The ambulance sped to the hospital as fast as possible. Seongguk, I think my labor pains have started. In the car, the two sat on one side, worriedly looking at her. The paramedic kept instructing her on how to breathe. Take deep breaths. Ji Seong, seeing her in so much pain, was scared to the point of tears. "Honey, hang in there a little longer. We're almost at the hospital." Seongguk kept calling her to keep her conscious. She looked at her husband and son, struggling to say, "Seongguk, I'm okay." He cried, thinking, "Okay, Mom. Are you in a lot of pain?" In his heart, he kept pulling his hair, trying to find a way to help his mother reduce the pain. "What should I do? I know nothing about childbirth. I've never experienced marriage, pregnancy, or childbirth, not in this life or the previous one." His heart was tangled with hundreds of worries. Is there any way to help? She was in so much pain she couldn't breathe and suddenly screamed, "Ah!" He didn't know how to help his mother, so he could only pray, "Mom, hang in there." The director and assistant, their faces red, looked down with bright eyes. So adorable, Seongguk is holding his newborn sibling tightly. Everyone was very amused watching him with his sibling. The assistant smiled. "You've worked hard. How do you feel?" So-young also smiled brightly. "Thanks to your help, I'm fine now." The assistant excitedly said, "I used to think no baby was as beautiful as Seongguk, but Min-guk is no joke either. Is it because both parents are good-looking?" She reached out to poke the baby's cheek, especially the chubby ones. Before she could touch the baby's cheek, he slapped her hand hard. "Ouch!" she screamed. He hugged the baby tightly, giving her a fierce look. "Don't touch the baby." He thought to himself, isn't it common knowledge not to touch newborns carelessly? "Go wash your hands first." She wiped her tears, rubbing her red, swollen hand. "Seongguk is already acting like a big brother, huh?" He frowned. Of course. He remembered his mischievous siblings from his past life, who always caused trouble. Number 1, number 2. He smiled savagely. "But this kid is different. I'll raise him properly." The director spoke up, "May I film a bit of Min-guk and Seongguk?" After the last live broadcast, the audience was buzzing. The forum was full of discussions. "Is Seongguk's mother okay? Please let us know the situation." The reporters were too harsh. "I'm worried about Seongguk's family. Seongguk has a sibling now." The forum was flooded with comments. Ji Seong wasn't stingy and agreed, "Yes, of course." The director happily thanked her. The assistant picked up the camera and started filming. "I'll film very carefully." Ji Seong felt a bit lighter, but director, "What happened after that?" "We left so suddenly." Hearing him say that, he suddenly remembered, Don't worry about that. It's almost resolved. We caught the culprit." A pager was thrown to the ground. "Explain yourself." Taehyung angrily shouted. Michael now Beom Seon is holding him tightly. He looked at the pager in confusion. "This is my pager. When did you take it?" Taehyung said, "Recently, many strange things have happened." Haven't they? Information only known by the staff at the set appeared in the newspapers. Even interviews that even the staff weren't clear about were leaked to reporters. The more he spoke, the more nervous he became. He shouted. "So what? What did I do?" he calmly said. "Your recent behavior has been very suspicious. So I asked Lucas to follow you." He was startled and turned to look at Lucas. "What?" Seeing him look. Lucas proudly looked back at him. Taehyung's eyes turned cold. "Anyway, thanks to that, we discovered." "What is your relationship with CEO Jin Jang-gong of Shinsung Entertainment?" The manager of Seoul Group suspects the CEO of Samjeon Entertainment. All the reporters who published smear articles are connected to Samjeon Entertainment. The phone number left in your voicemail also belongs to Samjeon Entertainment. Now everyone looks at him with disdain, helping such a despicable person to make Seongguk's family suffer. "What were you thinking, Michael?" He started to feel scared. Taehyung, without any mercy, declared, "Both you and CEO Shin Sung-jung must take responsibility for your actions." The next day, the newspapers started reporting. Entertainment and sports. The parents of the nation's baby Seongguk in a controversial interview. Is this a smear campaign? Entertainment and sports. Samjeon Entertainment bribes reporters to write negative articles. Korea Entertainment issue 108, no month, no exclusivity. The mastermind behind the smear articles is Samjeon Entertainment. Samjeon Entertainment accused of threatening their own artists. Finally, the police stepped in and arrested Shin Sung-jung. CEO Shin Sung-jung, please answer. Did you order the smear articles? Why did you do it? Did you really threaten your own artists? He was bombarded with questions until he got angry and shouted, I don't know anything about this. I already said I don't know anything. Ji Seong, hearing this, was scared. The CEO of Shinsung Entertainment and Michael. No matter how dissatisfied you are, Taehyung will take responsibility and bring him to apologize later. Additionally, as an apology, Just has agreed to cover all hospital expenses. Our broadcasting station will also contribute. The director himself spoke up. I wanted to hit someone already. If the family needs any further support, please let us know. Let's teach that brat Michael a lesson. He waved his hand and shook his head. It's okay. Thanks to this comfortable private room, our whole family can stay together. So Young is also recovering quickly. If the bad rumors disappear, we couldn't ask for more. He smiled lightly, really. Don't worry, thanks to your sincere interview, people understand better now. They were just deceived by bad people. So embarrassing. Hang in there, Sunguk's family. Everyone is cheering for you. He has prepared everything. As for cleaning up the aftermath, leave it to the manager and me. We'll sue those unethical reporters. Anyway, after this incident, we plan to pause broadcasting for 2 months. Sis also needs time to recover after giving birth. He asked him, is it okay to pause for so long? He casually said, we already have some backup footage. Rest assured and enjoy time with your family. 2 months later, has Seongguk been taking good care of Minguk See again this spring. Their family had a very enjoyable vacation. The loudspeaker kept blaring, it's only the beginning of the year, but the flowers are already blooming. March has come so quickly. That's right. The cherry blossoms are in full bloom, making our hearts flutter. Along with the news of the flowers blooming? There's another good news, right? Oh, what is it? The nation's baby Seongguk is about to return. A woman just stepped out of the bathroom. But Just Baby is coming back. That's right. There will be an announcement about the broadcast soon. She hugged the man and cooed. Honey, what are you watching? Seon-mi hugged Jae-hyung tightly. Honey. She gently kissed Jae-hyung's forehead. What are you watching? Jae-hyung didn't hesitate to look at the TV screen. It's Seongguk's family. Just Baby is replaying. Do you know that kid? Seon-mi frowned. Oh my, have you forgotten? You also met him at the washing machine commercial shoot. Ah, that kid, right. Huh. So that's how it is, Sony exclaimed. So that's how it is. Jae-hyung frowned, recalling, I happened to see the kid, and I found him very captivating. There's something special about him. Jae-hyung continued to look at the TV screen, lost in thought. Seon-mi jumped onto Jae-hyung. That's because the kid is a genius. Jae-hyung muttered, a genius. That's right, Seongguk has the talent of an outstanding actor. A child who can become anything. Jae-hyung still didn't believe it. Really, isn't he just a cute child actor for a short time? Then Seon-mi closed her eyes and stroked Jae-hyung's chin. Honey, I became famous because of my relationship with you. But you know I have a good eye for people, right? Not to mention Shinsung Entertainment tried to do something to the kid, and now they're completely collapsing. Shinsung Entertainment, you mean CEO Shin Sung-jung? Oh. Then Seon-mi burst out laughing. That's right, as usual they tried to exploit a new child actor, but this time they brought disaster upon themselves. Jae-hyung nodded. Didn't you also work for that company before? Then Seon-mi happily leaned her head on Jae-hyung. That's right. That's why I'm looking for a way to terminate the contract and leave. The contract terms aren't favorable to me, so this turned out to be a good thing. Jae-hyung gently inhaled the scent of her hair. Where are you planning to go? Have you set your sights on any company yet? Seon-mi blushed excitedly. I have a pretty interesting idea. I'll proceed slowly. For now, let's keep it like this. Anyway, if you're interested, you could invest in Seongguk. It's not a bad idea. Jae-hyung's face turned serious. Invest? Not bad. A beautiful morning at Jeon Seongguk's family. Everyone, it's time to eat. Today's lunch is seaweed soup. Kim Mi-young carefully handed a bowl of seaweed soup to Seongguk. Seongguk exclaimed as he received the food. He drooled while marveling in his heart. So fragrant. Seongguk ate heartily, praising, I didn't expect Manager Kim to be such a good cook, too. Mi-young quickly scooped another bowl and handed it to So-young. Here, So-young. She looked at the bowl of seaweed soup with emotion. "Sis?" "Yes." So-young thanked her profusely. "Thank you, sis, once again. You prepare meals for us every day like this." Mi-young smiled. "I'm Seongguk's manager, so this is only natural. But you're not even taking a salary, and yet you take care of meals and fruits. Don't say any more, just eat." Mi-young suddenly blushed and glanced at her. "We're family, right? As a member of the family, I should take care of everyone, at least to this extent." So-young's eyes were filled with admiration. "Sis, no more." Seongguk turned pale, trying to push the bowl of seaweed soup away. "I said don't touch it. This is my portion. Min-guk drinks milk." So-young chuckled. Recently, Min-guk has been imitating his older brother all the time. "Min-guk follows him so well, taking care of the baby must be a bit easier, right?" Seongguk was exhausted thinking. In the past 2 months of babysitting, I've realized a great truth. That is, raising a child is hell. Please give me some peace. He recalled the difficult times. "Why did you keep crying? Why won't you sleep?" "Please let me sleep a little. Why do you keep clinging to me? I just went to the bathroom for a moment." At first, I hoped for a sibling different from the mischievous kids in my past life. A well-behaved and loyal sibling. Someone loyal to their big brother. But this is also difficult in its own way. Min-guk only has eyes for me. Seongguk muttered wearily. "Min-guk, come on." Min-guk widened his sparkling eyes and looked at Seongguk with an adorable expression. For a moment, Seongguk felt as if his heart had jumped out of his chest. He struggled to hold the milk bottle. "All right, just this once I'll feed you. Grow up quickly." Mi-young and So-young couldn't help but laugh. One child taking care of another child. Exactly, I've benefited a lot from Seongguk. There's no child more filial than my Seongguk. Mi-young looked at her directly. So-young, have you ever thought about moving? So-young was surprised. Moving? You have 2 kids now, and I'm the landlady. It's a bit funny to say this, but this house is too small and old. Yes, So-young replied with difficulty, but we don't have enough money. Mi-young frowned seriously. What if you had the money? She waved her hand, pulling So-young closer. Come here, So-young. Are you a bit worried? Mi-young whispered carefully to So-young. Samjeon Electronics just contacted me. They want to sign an exclusive contract with Seongguk. An exclusive contract with Seongguk. So-young was stunned and stepped back. Exclusive with Samjeon. Mi-young hesitantly put her index finger to her lips, signaling So-young to be quiet. Mi-young recounted, they made an offer and said they'll send the detailed contract terms soon. Discuss it with Ji-seong. This could be a huge opportunity. So-young fidgeted, struggling to speak. That. Mi-young smiled. First, let's eat. You haven't forgotten that we have to go to the broadcasting station later, right? The first meeting of Just Baby after 2 months? Yes. The broadcasting station said they'll send a car to pick us up, so there's no need to rush. Just as she mentioned it, the car arrived. Mi-young quickly stood up. What, they're here already? So-young smiled, stroking the exhausted Seongguk. Taking care of Seongguk and Min-guk must be tough, huh? A voice called from outside. Are you from the broadcasting station? Meh. The young man with a calm voice spoke up. Long time no see. That young man caught the attention of So-young and Seongguk. Michael looked at his face. He looks like a thug. He's so scary. Seongguk was surprised to see this terrifying face. The space between them seemed to freeze for hours. Seongguk fearfully stood in front of So-young. Why are you here? He broke into a sweat, thinking, this Michael guy who sided with Shin Sung-jung and betrayed our family. What is he thinking daring to show up here? Michael's facial muscles tensed, but there was no expression on his face. Don't tell me he still holds a grudge and plans to do something. Wait. Taehyung brightly pulled Michael aside. Hello, everyone. Long time no see. So-young was surprised. Taehyung. Hyung cheerfully clapped. Michael, it seems like you startled everyone. We wanted to meet everyone sooner. After a long time, we also brought him here so he could apologize. He shouted, What are you waiting for, Michael? Michael bowed his head in remorse. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. In that moment, everyone seemed to be stunned. Jeon Seongguk was still resentful in his heart, thinking, is a simple apology enough? Thanks for apologizing. Seongguk was surprised to see his mother smiling warmly. So-young gently soothed, You must have your reasons. I hope we can work well together again. Mi-young and Seong-guk helplessly slapped their foreheads. I hope so too, manager. Seong-guk sighed, looking at So-young. You're always too kind. Seong-guk had to let it go. It's fine. The kinder and more lenient my parents are, the sharper and more careful I'll be. He angrily made a throat-slitting gesture. There won't be a next time, you idiot. Taehyung put his hands on his hips. Let's go. Everyone is waiting. At the broadcasting station headquarters, Junhae burst into tears. My baby. Seong-guk also responded with intense emotion. Director. The two of them hugged each other in extreme joy and longing. Junhae cheerfully said, Is it because we haven't seen each other for a long time? Our usually cold Seong-guk is welcoming us so warmly today. It's so touching, Seong-guk. Seong-guk closed his eyes, realizing a truth in his head. Director, I've realized something. I was born to work. I live for work, and will dedicate my whole life to it. He gloomily covered his face with his hand. I'm so tired of babysitting. I need to pour all my energy into work. Junhae worriedly asked, Seong-guk. Junhae then turned to greet Seong-guk's mom. How have you been lately? Seong-guk frowned. Min-guk is now on the verge of tears at the corner of his eyes. Junhae's face turned red as he approached Min-guk. Min-guk, in the past 2 months you've become even cuter. How is that possible? Min-guk suddenly cried out, Ah! This means I want to go to my brother! Junhae was startled. Huh? Why all of a sudden? So-young chuckled. Min-guk always wants to be near Seong-guk. Now that he doesn't see his brother, he's like this. Seong-guk clumsily gestured, begging through his actions. Director, save me! Hurry! Turn away! Junhae was puzzled. All right. Junhae smiled. In the past 2 months, there have been some small changes. Then the director turned to greet Mi-young. Manager, it's been a while, hasn't it? Junhae excitedly shouted. All right, now that everyone is here, let's quickly get started. First, we have about 20 more episodes until the final one. It's estimated that the final episode will air in September. So-young and Mi-young were confused. September. That's still half a year away. Junhae's eyes lit up. And the first episode to air after we resume filming this year, I'm thinking of a cherry blossom viewing picnic. The sign posted in front of the filming area in the park read, No unauthorized entry, reserved area. Taehyung and Jae-hyung couldn't help but exclaim, Seong-guk, you're truly a cherry blossom fairy. My goodness, a perfect cherry blossom fairy. The stylist team really put their heart into this one. Seong-guk proudly puffed out his chest. Taehyung chuckled at the compliment, wondering if he felt happy. The assistant director shouted, We're about to start filming, all actors gather now. Ja-hyun gently lifted the car with his hands. Let's go, Seong-guk. Laughter echoed far and wide. I want to carry the baby and so do I. The driver announced, I've arrived at the film set as per your orders. Vice President Jae-hyun was sitting in the back seat, legs crossed. He pursed his lips and looked out the window. Jae-hyung observed and pondered whether he really needed to be here, but he recalled last night. So I'll conclude today's work report here. Secretary Yang. How's that matter going? Yang hesitated. Which matter are you referring to, sir? That Jae-hyun, the exclusive contract with that child. As per your instructions, the contract proposal has been sent clearly. However, the child's parents seem to be hesitating due to the contract's large scale, so the process is delayed. Should I urge them? Jae-hyung sighed and declined. No, let them decide on their own. More importantly, Secretary Yang. What do you think about this contract? Yang stammered. Honestly, this contract is quite large compared to the child's experience. Is the boy really worth that much? Jae-hyung crossed his arms seriously. There's something very captivating about him. An undeniable connection, like a sense of blood relation. Suddenly, the driver's voice interrupted Jae-hyung's thoughts. Vice President. He woke up and stepped out of the car. Wait here, I have something to confirm. Hearing the noise, Jae-hyun turned to see what was happening. He struggled to remind Look Tae-hyung, confused, followed his gaze. Isn't that the Vice President of Samjeon? Just hearing that, Seong-guk's face turned pale. His eyes widened in astonishment. Seong-guk looked up at the man before him and blurted out, Father. Seong-guk opened his eyes to look at the man before him, silently recalling his father from his past life. What kind of person was Jae-hyung, after all? Born as the eldest son of the grandfather who built Samjeon, he was raised to be the heir with an admirable appearance and knowledge. Though his style differed from the founding grandfather, the current king of the dynasty prioritized efficiency. One was a swordsman, the other like Zhuge Liang. Indeed, prioritizing efficiency was the keyword defining his father. Awards, prizes, money, gold, and rings. He was the type who only cared about efficiency and results, with a sinister look always present on his face. Towards his wife, towards the company, the wife probably had to endure much resentment and patience, while subordinates always had to be cautious and fearful. Towards his children, it wasn't much better. Taeguk and Minjin, those who couldn't meet their father's strict expectations, always lived with a sense of inferiority. As for me, I was the child who didn't care about my father's expectations and rose even higher. I also received many awards, but didn't care. Jeon Seong-guk puffed his nose, proudly, truly a genius. Anyway, the relationship between me and my father in my past life was never comfortable, even if we accidentally met. He politely bowed to his father. He also reluctantly smiled and nodded in response. After all, he was my father and I was his son. Troublesome indeed, both of us like water and fire, wearing masks, pretending to get along. That's how it was, but he gradually returned to reality, unconsciously calling out, "Father." He happily smiled and asked back, "Father." He quickly panicked, covering his mouth, screaming in his heart, "I slipped up, it just came out of my mouth." He bent down with a bright, friendly smile, greeting Jeon Seong-guk kid. "Do you remember me? We met at the washing machine commercial shoot." He acted uncooperative, turning away. "I don't know." "Really? But why did you call me father?" He turned pale, screaming in his heart. "First deny everything, then figure it out later." Strange, I clearly heard it. He seemed to have caught him. He kept pressing closer. I definitely heard it. He reluctantly turned away. Damn, I forgot how persistent he is. While he was still pressing, suddenly a loud voice called Vice President Jae-hyung. "Why are you here?" The director and his mother quickly ran to greet him, a bit surprised. Asking, he turned, pretending to be polite. "I just wanted to quietly come and see Seong-guk for a bit, but it seems I've interrupted the filming." "Hello, Mr. Jae-hyung, why is that?" The director was confused. "I just wanted to see the kid directly once. Those bright eyes remind me of myself when I was young." He was a bit stunned, father. "Seeing him like this, I'm even more certain." He smiled and continued. "Yes, you've seen the contract, right? Kim So-young was suddenly mentioned." A bit startled. Yeah. "We can sign the exclusive contract anytime. Please contact us when you decide." She was flustered. "Oh yes. If there are any other conditions, just say so." At this moment he suddenly shouted, interrupting money, "Seong-guk!" She quickly covered her child's mouth while he kept struggling. "Give me money, father. You have a lot of money, right?" Seeing the child so eager, he couldn't help but laugh. "All right, I'll prepare money for you." Jeon Jae-hyung gently patted his head. Then he turned to the two of them. "When you're ready, I'll see you later." She flusteredly replied, "Yes, then I'll leave now." With that, he turned away. He just stood there, not knowing what else to say, his heart full of thoughts. "Father, honestly, I didn't expect to be involved with him again in this life." A vice president of a corporation and an ordinary child. The distance between us was already that far, but in an instant, images from his past life appeared. He had once hugged him, smiling, and even accompanied him in work. "A new project, I trust you, my smartest child," he happily and excitedly said to him. "I hope you'll bring good results." At that time, he also somewhat proudly accepted his father's recognition. Even now, that feeling remains, even in the form of a child. The director loudly announced, "Everyone attention, let's continue filming." He suddenly woke up. Right, the most important thing is the present focus on the scene before us. A special spring outing he and two other children played under the cherry blossom tree. Day by day, it also came to a special day, Children's Day. At this time, he transformed into a mischievous child, climbing on someone's back to play. The days passed, and it also came to a special summer vacation. Everyone went to the beach together. He curiously dived down to watch the fish. Time passed in a flash, In a large building, someone screamed. Just the invincible, just the female fans kept screaming. The security team quickly performed their duty. Don't push everyone. Keep order during filming. Kim So-young couldn't help but sigh. Today is as hot as usual. The manager sighed. Why do they know to come like this? Lately, filming has been difficult because of the crazy fans. The cheers keep ringing out. Seong-guk looked up at his mother. I want to go down. The group Jesus has already become the national idol group. She flusteredly replied, Be careful, someone might try to sneak into the set. At this time, he was also let down to walk on his own. He secretly thought, These kids have grown quite a bit, haven't they? The national idol group just was approaching the camera, ready to take a selfie with Seong-guk, ready high-sensitivity video for each member. Along with the popularity of Just Baby the group. Just never neglected their concerts and album releases, and in the past half year, they have become the top group in the music industry, attracting countless passionate female fans. Of course, I've also filmed a series of high-end commercials and become a blue chip in the advertising world. Commercials for famous children's fashion brands. Luxury product commercials for children. He was so happy that he made a very dirty face. I heard the directors also received huge bonuses thanks to me. The director and assistant seemed very happy. Making everyone successful like this is really great, but Just Baby doesn't have much time left. At this time, the assistant hinted to Seong-guk's mother, I have one more thing to discuss. Perhaps just one more shoot to finish. He didn't care and turned away. I'll go first. A nostalgic feeling from somewhere, a hand reached out from the darkness. He quickly grabbed the small hand. A dangerous voice rang out Seong-guk. He was so scared that his face turned pale, unable to say anything more. Can you help me with something? The person continued. The hand tightened more and more. Seong-guk, can you help me with something? He froze in an instant. He could only fearfully stammer, What's this? You scared me. He shouted in front of him was Tae-hyung signaling to keep quiet. Quiet, if the crazy fans hear, it'll be troublesome. The screams outside still showed no sign of stopping. Seong-guk placed his hand on his heart, his face ashen, so scared he had to hide, but still worried about the crazy fans. Truly a genuine idol. So what do you need me to help with? He crossed his arms, questioning Tae-hyung, who was flustered. Ah well. Suddenly footsteps approached. The manager spoke. What are you two doing here? Why not go into the set? Tae-hyung was startled, looked up. Then sighed helplessly. I wanted to ask Seong-guk to choose the theme song for us. In the recording room, Lucas and Jae-hyun were busy happily talking and laughing with Seong-guk. Now take the mic. Tae-hyung flusteredly accepted. Are you guys really going to film now? It's nothing big, the director happily asked. So Tae-hyung, what's the matter? He shyly scratched his face. We're about to release a new album. All the songs are completed, but the members can't agree on which one will be the theme song. Each has a different opinion, almost fighting to the point of breaking heads. So we asked Seong-guk to help us choose. Tae-hyung smiled happily while everyone was shocked. What's going on? The director immediately advised. I know Seong-guk is smart, but is it okay to let a 3-year-old child decide the theme song? On one side, Seong-guk was wearing headphones, listening intently with an extremely serious expression. But Tae-hyung, a bit embarrassed, said, We were also hesitant, but after thinking carefully throughout the past year, Seong-guk has helped shape us. Being too polite is not attractive. First, we need to take care of him. Climbing on Beom-seon's head and causing mischief, though clumsy, we've learned a lot from taking care of children. The director also had to dry up. Trembling. Learning through thoughtless actions will only bring trouble. So we want to leave Seong-guk's mark on this album. Lucas and Jae-hyun invited him to sit beside them, continuously chattering, Seong-guk, do you like song number 2 more? No, song number 3. He remained focused on enjoying the music because the program was about to end before parting ways. Seong-guk's friends now took off their headphones, their faces thoughtful. Jae-hyun hurriedly rushed over and asked immediately, Seong-guk, what do you think? He then broke into a mischievous smile. You want me to decide the theme song? A wise choice, my children. He confidently stroked his hair, looking wise and proud, as if he knew the future. My choice is this one. Seongguk quickly pointed to the CD titled It's Alive. Lucas was a bit startled. Really? That song? Jae-hyun was delighted, I told you. Seongguk has great taste in music. He was so proud, his head held high, not seeing the ground. The director quickly approached. Which song is it? Taehyung promptly replied, It's the one Jae-hyun co-wrote. Among the three candidates, it has the most unique style. Except for Baeom Seon and Jae-hyun. Everyone wanted to put it on the B-side list. On the other side, Jae-hyun was doting on him, hugging him tightly, while Lucas seemed helpless. But he chose that song. He confidently sang out, of course. In my past life, ITZY was just a B-side, but it proved its strength by maintaining the top spot for 5 consecutive weeks, ranking first on the music charts for 5 weeks straight. Even someone like me who doesn't care much about music knows it by heart. It's a song you hear everywhere. If it had been the theme song from the start, it would have been even more popular. Lucas hugged him, crying non-stop. Think about it. Isn't Way to You better? Seongguk tried hard to push his face away, extremely rejecting. No. He grabbed the nearby CD and shouted, This one! It has to be this one. Taehyung, seeing his determination, also had to hesitate. His face was full of confidence, resolutely refusing to back down. Taehyung, seeing this, couldn't help but laugh. All right, we'll go with it. With the song, Seongguk chose as the theme, We'll do our best to promote it. Taehyung hugged him. Jae-hyun was overjoyed beside him. Lucas was crying on the ground, and Seongguk just put his headphones back on and enjoyed. The warm image of the three of them was broadcast on TV. The Just Baby forum was filled with memories of Seongguk, truly touching. It's Alive is so good. Who would have thought Seongguk's taste in music would be this amazing? Can't believe it's the final episode. Please extend the program. I hope the TV station will continue to let Just and Seongguk meet after the show ends. The final episode celebration of Just Baby. Thank you everyone for your hard work. His mother led him to the dark door, gently saying, Let's go in, the car is ready. Even though his mother was smiling softly, he couldn't help but worry. Why is it so dark? These Just guys before the final episode are still playing around. A gloomy atmosphere emanated from behind the dark door. Then I'll join in too. He determinedly stepped inside. Pop-pop confetti was shot into the air. The scene became bright. Ah, happy birthday. Seongguk, everyone gathered happily, celebrating, making him a bit surprised and stunned. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, everyone sang in unison. The director beamed and spoke, Seongguk, we wanted to celebrate your birthday, so we prepared it to coincide with the final episode celebration. The assistant was already holding the camera. How do you feel? He bowed his head, not showing any expression, his whole body trembling. Amazing. Amazing. His eyes sparkled brightly, a bright smile on his lips. Taehyung and Jae-hyun quickly lifted him high. Seongguk laughed happily. At first he thought he could predict it, but having a birthday celebration still made him so happy. The director attracted attention. All right, everyone, this is the premium beef the TV station prepared for us. Thank you everyone for your hard work filming. Just Baby, let's eat to our heart's content. Hearing about the premium beef, Taehyung froze premium beef, Seongguk quickly climbed onto the table, staring intently. Drooling. In Lucas's hand was a full bowl. He tearfully put each piece into his mouth. Hoo. I'm so moved. Jae-hyun reminded him. Don't cry while eating. Baeom Seon couldn't help but laugh. Seongguk, like a hungry tiger, pounced on the beef, fighting for it. Then until now, everyone let's raise our glasses together. Everyone has worked hard. Everyone smiled brightly, enjoying this moment. Kim So-young was teary-eyed, truly moved. Suddenly someone spoke up. Excuse me, Ms. So-young. Yes, who are you? Vice President Jeon Jae-hyung sent me. Just call me Secretary Yang. I came to congratulate the successful conclusion of the program and give a small gift. Opening the gift box, Seongguk's mother had to exclaim in surprise. Wild ginseng. When you have time, please reconsider the contract matter. He smiled slyly, gently, reminding. She immediately brightened up, happily replying, "Ah yes, we'll meet with him as soon as possible." When autumn arrived, Mr. Kim So-young and the two of them went for a walk. She worriedly asked, "Can you rest for a few more days without feeling tired?" "No, I promised at the final party. I'll definitely visit soon." She smiled and turned to Seong-guk. "You're not tired either, right?" With a serious face, he thought, "How can I be tired? I need to focus all my energy and go." My old fox of a father. The man who never loses out quickly came to see what he's really plotting. Seong-guk wasn't the least bit afraid, his confidence shining brightly.